What's up, y'all? What's up? Guys, have you so one, we're gonna watch this together. I haven't watched like all of it, but I watched I want to say about 10, 15 minutes of it. That was actually kind of fruitful. This thing is like 2 hours. So we're gonna try to get through as much as we can. But looks like in the UK, they had a debate about whether is Islam should Islam be, should the West be suspicious of Islam? So it says THB, the West is right to be suspicious of Islam. We got Tommy Robinson on there too, and he's been making a lot of noise. So let's go ahead and check and see what the Muslims like. What kind of pushback do they have? I am on the side of yes, the West is right to be suspicious of Islam. So let's check it out.
Exclusivism are familiar to any student of philosophy. Islam, as many religions do, has a doctrine that is the final revelation of truth, and that all of our revelation is either not divine, not final, or simply wrong. This is unusual, but Islam presents a unique challenge to the secular liberal order. While many belief systems engage in internal moral dialogue, Islam encompasses an overarching political and legal framework referred to as Sharia that makes explicit, actionable demands on the governance of the state. This system includes a system of taxation called, and I'm aware I'm going to butcher this, but jizya, whereby non-Muslims are in Muslim lands, as envisaged by the Quran, required to pay a tax for the extension of freedom of belief and the right to autonomy of life. We talk a lot about how we should be tolerant, how we should be accepting of beliefs, and I'm sure that different presentations of Islamic law will be presented.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you guys hear like the call to prayer in the background? I'm confused because they did say that there was like protesters outside too. Like some of them didn't want this debate to happen. Some of them did. I'm confused. I feel like somebody might be outside of this building blasting the call to prayer on the speaker, bro. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm hearing something in the background, and it definitely sounds like the call to prayer.
When you examine concepts like the jizya or specific jurisprudence regarding apostasy, we need not trade quotes from scripture. We can debate the more essential tension between a political doctrine that legally categorizes citizens by their faith status and a Western liberal system that mandates equality under law regardless of belief. Take jizya. It is not fundamentally liberal, and is it not fundamentally liberal and Western to believe in discriminatory taxes against those of different faiths that are a requirement to be guaranteed the most basic of what we in the West would call human rights, such as the right to even lights up? Feel free.
It's not discriminatory taxes. It's that in the Islamic State, there's only one level of citizenship. Non-Muslims are the citizens. Muslims are the subjects of the state. We have obligations to the state that non-Muslims are not subject to. And if you go to Pakistan, for example, they have some aspects of Islamic law there. In the constitution, Muslims are not allowed to drink alcohol, but Pakistani Christians are actually allowed to drink alcohol and follow their practices. So if anything, an Islamic state is more oppressive to Muslims than it is to non-Muslims.
What? Yo, I can't wait to watch the Muslim debaters. Like, that was just the dumbest thing that I ever heard. Hey guys, Muslims aren't allowed to drink alcohol, but non-Muslims are. So, hey, in an Islamic state, the Muslims are more oppressed. After this dude literally just said that we are subjugated and we have to pay a tax because we're not Muslim, this dude says you guys have it better because you can drink. Oh, did I hear that? Wait. Did I hear that correctly? I can't wait till these other Muslim debaters go. Oh my gosh.
Non-Muslims are the citizens. Muslims are the subjects of the state. We have obligations to the state that non-Muslims are not subject to. And if you go to Pakistan, for example, they have some aspects of Islamic law there. In the constitution, Muslims are not allowed to drink alcohol. But Pakistani Christians are actually allowed to drink alcohol and follow their practices. So if anything, an Islamic state is more oppressive to Muslims than it is to non-Muslims.
Oh, bro, I wish I was there. I wish I was here. This where I need to be.
So what you're
Yeah, sit down, bro.
saying is fundamentally there is a discrimination there between Muslim and non-Muslims.
Not in citizenship.
This is but one example. Scholars may disagree on the interpretation of various verses of the Quran and hadiths.
And he not gonna address that? This is why certain people need to debate only.
From, again, a quote, kill the polytheists wherever you find them in Surah 9:5, to, quote, whoever changes religion, put them to death, in the words of the Prophet Muhammad in the hadiths. But with these verses, even if not literal instructions, go on.
In the surah that you mentioned, the verse of the sword, sorry, can you recite the verse that comes before it and then also the verse that comes after it? And are you willing to accept that that verse was given in a very specific time regarding a very specific tribe that burnt or prevented the treaty that they had signed with Muslims, that is not a universal command upon all Muslims?
I think I'm about to get that.
Imagine defending a religion that if they take over, you wouldn't even be able to dress like this. Why is your hair out? If anything, you on our side for real. You like this, like some westernized Islam stuff or something going on. You're not with them. If Islam take over all this, you not coming out the house like this. You worried about reading the verses. You need to worry about how they ain't gonna let you dress like this.
Universal command upon all Muslims.
I think I'm about to get that. But ultimately,
I'm gonna be real. He's terrible. Whoever did, he's terrible. This guy's terrible. Like I'm glad they put him first because he's so bad.
these verses, even if not literal instructions, even if not divine law, tell you something about the fundamental difference between Islam and other faiths. Islam is a totalizing religion. Non-believers are expected to convert or render inferior, not in the divine realm above, but here on earth.
What information?
Polytheists, apostates, and all of the other deserving exclusion or worse. This brings me quite nicely to my second point. Ultimately, I could list countless examples of how Muslim majority countries treat non-believers, how it is potentially lethal in countries like Syria to be a Jew or religious minority, how Iran hangs homosexuals, how countries like Qatar and Saudi Arabia subjugate women through passport controls moderated by male guardianship schemes. But be the same old tired criticism. I want us to think about this differently and honestly.
Oh.
We can put this down to, as I'm sure side proposition will, local anomalies or distorted interpretations. Yet nearly 80% of the world's Muslim population live in states where these frameworks are not just abstract theory, but the law of the land. We must grapple with this reality. We can observe the outcome of this doctrine, where it is empowered to.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. He's bad. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna skip to Tommy, but he's bad. I'm sorry. He's not good. He the type they'll run all over him. I can't even follow what he's okay.
Gentlemen,
He's so bad. I'm skipping to the Muslim rebuttal.
for opening the debate for the proposition, and I call upon Aisha Khan Aziz to open the debate for the opposition.
Mr.
right, here
Chair, thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight.
Here we go. The Muslims. Let's see how the Muslims defend it. You know this about to be good. Let's see about.
I am a history student. I love digging up the past, though not as much as some people who have studied every terrorist attack since 9/11 and yet somehow missed the 12 centuries of Islamic history that came before. But since we are doing history, let me give you Cato the Elder, since the West likes rooting itself in its Greco-Roman traditions. Cato ended every speech in the Roman Senate on grain prices or foreign policy with the same line: Carthago delenda est. Carthage must be destroyed. He never argued it or proved it, he just repeated it, incessantly and relentlessly, until the Senate felt it in their bones, until Carthage felt inevitable. Eventually they went and burned it to the ground and salted the earth so nothing would grow again. We do not have to go back 2,000 years to see how this ends. We can look at simply last week in Belfast. A stabbing on a street left a man fighting for his life at the hands of a Sudanese refugee here on a legal residence permit. Within 48 hours, mobs were going from door to door looking for them. 27 people were made homeless overnight. A Ukrainian
Audio. Really? Hold up. Makes no sense.
But before I make that case in full, let's put Belfast on a map a week earlier, which was pulled from a burning house by firefighters. Northern Ireland's Justice Minister said it plainly. Stayed in their houses and waited for the inferno, homeless overnight. A Ukrainian family.
We good? All right, let's get it. Make sure everybody hit the like button. 232 people in here, late night live. We chilling, man. Hit the like button.
Burnt out. Muslim parents who were asking their white neighbors to keep their children safe while they stayed in their houses and waited for the inferno to come. A 2-month-old baby was pulled from a burning house by firefighters. Northern Ireland's Justice Minister said it plainly. Bad faith actors who could not have found Belfast on a map a week earlier were deliberately stoking people onto the streets, and that is the absolute definition of racism. But before I make that case in full, let me acknowledge the distinguished bench in front of me tonight. Oliver JL, I begin with you. You dropped out of your GDL course to spend more time unemployed at the Oxford Union. And given how many times a Muslim candidate has stood between you and the position you actually wanted here in the Union, perhaps tonight's motion
Now, notice this. Doesn't this remind you of something? This reminds you of the HDTV movement, right? Where anybody else was able to, we got to be respectful and this, and that, right? But they're able to crack small little baby jokes like this. But if he were to do the same thing to her, everybody would be, oh, yeah, Islamophobe. But they got to laugh it off, right? Because they got to be, walk on eggshells with these people. And why ain't she wearing a hijab too? You see what I'm saying? Y'all know, why ain't she wearing a hijab? You fighting for Islam to remain in the West. And you in Islamic countries, you ain't doing this. Full-blown Islamic countries, you're not doing that. Sharia law, you ain't doing this. You're not walking out the house like this. So you taking the West's luxury and you want to come try to filter it in and out with Islam, but yet you don't want to assimilate to our customs, but you're doing it now. You're doing it now. You able to do this and dress like this because of us. Go to a Muslim country with Sharia law. She probably wouldn't even she wouldn't even be able to speak at this debate.
Perhaps tonight's motion is less about the West's relationship with Islam and more about yours. Stephen Yaxley Lennon, known to his
Real quick, look at this. Walk with the Spirit. Perfect comment. We've destroyed our country with our religion. We're bringing it to you now. And we're going to act like it had nothing to do with Islam.
hooligans as Tommy Robinson. Stephen, there is a crowd outside rioting against you tonight, and without the protection and generosity of a Muslim Palestinian president and a mostly South Asian executive committee, you would be quite literally cooked.
What? Bro, this is not, no. This ain't real, bro. Did she hear herself? She's at a debate saying, should we do at a debate where it says that is the West right to be suspicious of Islam? And literally said the opposing party to one of the guys on the opposing party, there's a mob outside waiting for you. And if a Muslim, whatever, mayor, prime minister, whatever she said, it's him that provided the security for you against the Muslims. Huh? Let's hear that again. These people don't hear themselves. What a dumb group of people that's out there clapping. What a dumb group of people, man. I ain't gonna lie. Look, I love my UK people, but if this what y'all doing, man, y'all deserve it, bro. Y'all deserve it. And I know it's a bunch of UK people out there, Tommy Robinson and everybody that's on his side that's not with that. So I understand that it's one-sided here, but those same people that are clapping are the reason why these people got in the first place. So this ain't got nothing to do with y'all that got y'all head screwed on. This got everything to do with the majority that's duped in allowing this stuff to take place.
Perhaps tonight's motion is less about the West's relationship with Islam and more about yours. Stephen Yaxley Lennon, known to his hooligans as Tommy Robinson. Stephen, there is a crowd outside rioting against you tonight, and without the protection and generosity of a Muslim Palestinian president and a mostly South Asian executive committee, you would be quite literally cooked.
So who are the people that are outside waiting for Tommy Robinson? Muslims. So yes, we should be suspicious of Islam if you guys can't even have a debate and have a guy like Tommy Robinson in there and the Muslims are outside waiting to get a hold of Tommy Robinson. Are you not putting two and two together? It doesn't matter if a Muslim president is offering security. Who cares? The Muslims are outside waiting for him. You didn't just hear yourself? Wow. I mean, we only 20 minutes in, y'all. I kind of just only want to hear what the Muslims got to say. No, I'm just playing. We want to hear Tommy for sure.
Then Lawrence Fox, actor, politician. However, I think his most memorable role might be the ex-husband of Doctor Who's Rose Tyler, founder of the Reclaim Party, which at the last general election reclaimed approximately 0.02% of the British vote. Also a former GB News presenter, because GB News let him go, which if you know anything about GB News, says something quite specific about the threshold. Finally, Jonathan Sacradotti, a core memory of my Michaelmas 2024 Oxford Union experience. However, you wrote an article in The Spectator merely 2 days ago. There you insist sharing a panel with Stephen Yaxley Lennon is not a reflection on you, and that guilt by association is beneath serious argument, only to spend the rest of the piece asking Muslims to wear the guilt of a minority who share nothing with them but a faith. You cannot demand that logic for yourself, Jonathan, and deny it to everyone else in the room.
Point of information. My argument was with the ideology of Islam, not with individual Muslims.
I read the article and it was a bit very self-apologetic about speaking here tonight.
Okay. You see him, you see his face. He like, okay. And why are they just like ignorantly clapping for every little dumb thing she says? So what? It was self-apologetic. Yeah, about Islam, like he just said. They're here to speak about Islam. Whenever they talk about Islam, Muslims think you're talking about Muslims. No, we talking about y'all religion. Look at what just happened here.
Apologetic about speaking here tonight.
You say he looking at her like, okay, what? Okay, and yeah, that's what I just said.
Mr. Chair, these are Madam Speaker's guests, and in the spirit of free speech, they are most welcome. The proposition's argument is seductive. It says, look at the threat, look at the attacks. Suspicion is just and prudence. I do not need to deny that Islamist terrorism or an Islamist threat is real. I need to show you that collective suspicion of Islam is irrational, counterproductive, and morally catastrophic.
Then do
So
it.
let us be inductive. Let us look at what that suspicion actually produces. After 9/11, the West treated Islam as a civilizational enemy and called that suspicion prudence. The result was not safety. It was Abu Ghraib, it was Guantanamo Bay, men who were held for decades without charge, men like Ahmed Rabbani, a taxi driver from Karachi, sold to the Americans for $5,000 because they thought he was someone else. 20 years in a cage and he never once was charged. His son Jawad grew up on a 15-minute phone call a year, a father who would only say he is in jail. At 13, Jawad went on the dark web to watch his father's torture videos. For years, he believed his father must have deserved it because, in his words, you don't torture anyone for no reason. He did not meet his father until 2023. A grown man meeting a stranger at an airport because suspicion took his father before he was even born. That is what suspicion produces. Not security, but the very monster it claims to defend against, and a childhood stolen from a boy who committed no crime either. When it is not states, but ordinary people who act on it, the ledger is just as damning. 2 genocides of Muslims in 30 years, Bosnia in 1995, Myanmar in 2017, a pogrom in Delhi in 2020, all fed by the same elemental claim that the proposition is making tonight, that Muslims are foreign, violent, a threat by nature rather than by individual acts. The motion, at its core, is Samuel Huntington's argument, which is the clash of civilizations, Islam and the West, placed as mortal enemies in a struggle that only one side can win.
Okay, so first of all, let's just address that suspicion harms everybody, especially when it comes by way of false accusation and you end up getting arrested. That's just human flaw. That has nothing to do with Islam. I understand she's trying to tie it in, right, with like 9/11 and etc. And that's what caused it. And because you guys look down on Muslims and etc. Well, I'm sorry, Muslims were the one that did it, and they were literally like, come on, bro. Like we can't sit here and lie and say that Muslims do these type of attacks and then they yell Alhamdulillah after, literally outing themselves as Muslims. It's like they're proud to show I'm a Muslim and I did this. So it's not our fault that the religion of Islam, right, and its core real followers are actually staying true to what the religion is. And the ones who don't really follow the religion right, like her, who's literally at a debate, like she can't wear none of this in no Islamic country. They probably looking at her like, why is this? You know, and I'm not trying to be messed up, but you know how Muslims look at women that dress like this? They think they, you know, in the adult industry. I don't, but I'm just saying they probably looking at her like, who is this talking? But at the end of the day, I just wanted to say that, like, you're defending something they won't defend you in this moment right here. They will want you to be quiet. They will want you to cover up. They would talk down on you. Even if your little skin on your arms wasn't even showing, they still be mad that your chest is showing and your face or your hair. So I'm just saying this. Whatever she just said happened to that man, obviously it's wrong if he was arrested wrong, if there was a wrongful arrest. Wrongful arrest happened to a bunch of people all over the world, okay? In all different types of countries. The problem is that the Muslims who don't follow their religion properly, who don't understand their religion properly, want to defend it against the people who are. And that's what these like people like her don't get.
Published in 1993, it has shaped Western policy for 30 years. So let us test it against the evidence. The evidence, they say, is ISIS, Palmyra, the Bamia Buddhas. Look, here is the clash. Here is why suspicion is rational. All they do is destroy. So let me take them to Jerusalem. In the Al-Aqsa complex, which is the third holiest site in Islam, there are Gothic rose windows. Crusader stonework preserved by Muslim custodians for 8 centuries. Salahuddin Ayyubi took Jerusalem in 1187 and left the Christian stonework standing. That is not a clash of civilizations.
What did Erdogan do to Hagia Sophia?
I'm talking about Jerusalem. The evidence...
Hey, let me dodge the question and then everybody clap. Bro, these people are insane.
And denied. Bamia, when the Taliban first proposed destroying the Buddhas, scholars from Al-Azhar University in Cairo flew to Kandahar to argue against it on theological grounds. Hazara Muslims took up arms to protect them. That tradition tried harder to save those statues than the West ever did. Which brings me to Palmyra. The man who died trying to save it was an 81-year-old Muslim man, tortured for a month and beheaded for refusing to talk. So who is Islamist violence actually killing? Not the West. It's Muslims. 91%.
Bro, did she not hear herself? Bro, there's no way she's cooking herself.
1-year-old Muslim man, tortured for a month and beheaded for refusing to talk. So who is Islamist violence actually killing? Not the West. It's Muslims. 91% of everyone killed by Islamist terrorism is Muslim. The Taliban has killed 69,000 people, ISIS 58,000, Boko Haram 25,000 people. All of them nearly Muslim, killed by men who called themselves the only true Muslims on earth. For
Dude, she just cooked herself. Oh, bro. Does she hear them? No way. So therefore, let me go back. Let me go back small screen. So therefore, sorry guys. So therefore, hence the title at the top, we should be suspicious of Islam. You just proved our point. It don't matter the majority of who. It does not matter if the Muslim T group is destroying majority of their people. We know that these people are operating generally in Muslim countries. That's the point. That's why we don't want it over here. Oh my gosh, bro. What? Okay. I guess there's more for her to say after cooking herself.
20 years,
She just cooked herself.
58,000, Boko Haram 25,000 people. All of them nearly Muslim, killed by men who called themselves the only true Muslims on earth. For 20 years, the West has pointed at the body count and blamed the corpses for suspicion. Huntington told governments that they were not engaged, they were in a civilizational war. They believed him, and in fighting that war, they generated precisely the enemy his thesis required. Yes?
Are you suggesting that Islamic death meted out to other Muslims should not make people in the West suspicious because they care about Islam killing its own people?
I think primarily the West's argument towards criticism of Muslim is to do with themselves. as opposed to how they treat other Muslims. I don't think that the footing in which we treat other Muslims versus Westerners is equal.
Oh my! Bro, what am I watching? No, what am I watching, bro? What are we watching, bro? There's no way she said that.
Criticism on primarily the West's argument towards criticism on Muslim.
First of all, whoever that is, that dude is goated. Look at what he said.
Meted out to other.
In fighting that war, they generated precisely the enemy his thesis required. Yes?
Are you suggesting that Islamic death meted out to other Muslims should not make people in the West suspicious because they care about Islam killing its own people?
I think primarily the West's argument towards criticism on Muslim is to do with themselves, as opposed to how they treat other Muslims. I don't.
No, there's no way she did that. No, this is part of our criticism. What you guys are doing to yourselves. That's part of our criticism. Oh my gosh, bro. Get her off the stage. She's done, bro. She just cooked herself.
Criticism.
Trying to defend Islam and cooked herself. What? No, it's part of our... What Muslims are doing to other Muslims in other countries is part of our criticism. Like, what is actually happening? So you want to separate that? You want us to separate that. You want us to not identify the issue from the core. When we find the issue from the core, we have to go to Muslim countries where the real Islam is being implemented. Bro, she's done. She's done, bro.
Muslim is to do with themselves, as opposed to how they treat other Muslims. I don't think that the footing in which we treat other Muslims versus Westerners is equal. That is the paradox of the modern culture war, actually. Offended by everything, shamed by nothing. They take issue with the women on a headscarf on a bus and feel no shame about the wars we exported or the terrorist regimes we bankrolled. The sensibility that finds Islam offensive cannot locate its own reflection in history. And trust me, the West has plenty of history to locate. The Inquisition, colonialism, slavery, the
Somebody said paid clappers.
And trust the sensibility that finds Islam offensive cannot locate its own reflection in history. And trust me, the West has plenty of history to locate. The Inquisition, colonialism, slavery, the internment of Japanese Americans, McCarthyism. Every generation has had its Carthage, a group cast as a civilizational threat. Every generation told itself it was being reasonable, and every generation was wrong. So let us be clear about Western values. The West does not have a settled, unified set of values against which Islam can be measured and found wanting. It is a contested, unresolved project, and so is Islam, and so is every intellectual tradition. The question is not whether one perfect civilization can judge another and find it deficient, denied, but whether two imperfect, contested traditions can coexist, and that is not answered by one of them claiming the right to treat the other as inherently suspect. I agree that Western values are worth defending, so completely that I will show you what they look like when I actually live them. Western critical thinking means I can read a scholar's commentary on a Quranic verse and decide that he might be right or wrong. It means I can hold up my faith to scrutiny without it shattering, because of faith that...
Oh! So it means that you could cherry pick your religion, but when we tell you what your religion really is, you got the right to just go ahead and throw it out. Oh, okay. Interesting. I got the right to say what I feel is right and wrong about my religion. No. That ain't how your religion works. Clearly how she dressed, she don't know how her religion works.
I agree that Western values are worth defending, so completely that I will show you what they look like when I actually live them. Western critical thinking means I can read a scholar's commentary on a Quranic verse and decide that he might be right or wrong. It means I can hold up my faith to scrutiny without it shattering, because a faith that cannot survive a question probably deserves to be questioned, am I right? But the proposition's argument is not critical thinking should be universal. It is that the West has a right to be suspicious of me. Before I even open my mouth, before I demonstrate anything at all, suspicious of who I am.
Notice what she said too, guys. Western criticism allows this, or Western, Western customs allows her to do this. She didn't say Islamic customs allow her to do it. You see, y'all, did you catch that? Do we got to play that? We ain't that far on. Let's play that again. Notice this, guys.
Denied. But whether two imperfect contested traditions can coexist, and that is not answered by one of them claiming the right to treat the other as inherently suspect. I agree that Western values are worth defending, so completely that I will show you what they look like when I actually live them. Western critical thinking means I can read a scholar's commentary on a Quranic verse.
Western critical thinking. She keep cooking herself. You supposed to be defending Islam. If that ain't Islamic critical thinking, then we should be suspicious of Islam, because we don't want y'all coming in here overpopulating and then trying to get rid of Western critical thinking. Duh! That's the point.
And decide that he might be right or wrong. It means I can hold up my faith to scrutiny without it shattering, because a faith that cannot survive a question probably deserves to be questioned, am I right? But the proposition's argument is not critical thinking should be universal. It is that the West has a right to be suspicious of me. Before I even open my mouth, before I demonstrate anything at all, suspicious of who I am and also what I eat, ironically. MI5's own researchers have said this themselves. When communities feel pre-convicted, they disengage from the institutions that could intercept real threats. I'm trying to get through my speech. Legitimized suspicion does not make us safer. It makes the people we need on side feel like enemies. One more thing about Western values. The proposition speaks of a Judeo-Christian tradition under threat from Islam. That phrase was coined in the 1930s in America to fight fascism, built against exclusion. Then the Cold War came, and it was repurposed as a banner against godless communism, because nothing says rugged Western freedom quite like reminding the Soviets to go to church. Now it has changed target again. No longer Jewish people are written out of the West, but the Muslim person. It is the same machinery, the same sentence structure, the same act of drawing a line around who counts as one of us, just pointed at different people.
No, it's not.
Islamophobia has become one of the last socially acceptable forms of bigotry in British public life, and the proposition wants to give that bigotry a mandate. My grandfather came to this country in the 1950s. He did not arrive suspicious. He arrived with a particular stubborn hope of someone who believed Britain meant what it had said. He spent his life proving he belonged here, brick by brick, year by year.
Okay.
He even gave up his name, Abdul Aziz, for one that would open more doors.
Good.
We gave this country our blood to enrich it. That proposition is asking you to tell him that was never going to be enough.
Yeah, that's called assimilation. You're not in a Muslim country. You don't have to have no Islamic name. You don't have to have that. You come over here if you want to change your name so you can get a little bit more footing in a country that is not Islamic. Well, then that's what you have to do. This is the same reason why Muslims come over here and they start dressing like how she dresses, right? Because you are assimilating with our culture and our practices and our customs. And I don't believe that he would have had to change his name from Abdul. I think he just did it. But at the end of the day, if he felt like he had to change his name to get a little bit more footing, then do it. That's called assimilation, bro. You're not in the Muslim country no more. And then on top of that, too, she got to realize like what she said. Why did he come over here in the first place? Because y'all love the West. So if y'all love the West, then y'all got to understand that the West does not want no Islamic stuff coming in, infiltrating nothing. So when y'all starting to come over here and get over here and do your little thing, then just let it be that. Assimilate.
Staging suspicion of Islam is not intellectual rigor. It is the same Islamophobia that keeps people like Stephen Yaxley Lennon and Lawrence Fox trafficking. And it is a disgrace. I'm about to finish my speech. It is a disgrace that Muslims should have to keep performing their humanity to earn belief. I say that is not Western values. That is Western failure. That is a Western disgrace. And this house is better than that. I urge you all to vote against the motion tonight. Thank you.
I thank the Honourable Lady for opening the case for the opposition. And I now call upon Mr. Tommy Robinson to advance the case for the proposition.
Uh-oh, we got some music. Let's see what he got to say. I purposely didn't listen to any of the clips that he had out because I wanted to watch it raw and live with you guys today. So let's do it. Tommy.
First of all, I'd like to say I'd much rather be watching the England game than in here tonight. I've simply come here because of the commitment to free speech that Arwa had for this event. I know you have totally opposite views to me, but I know that people may step into the field of inviting me somewhere without realising what it's going to face. So I'm fully aware of the backlash you would have faced, but I congratulate you on your defence of free speech, and that's the reason why I've come tonight. Yeah. I'd also like to congratulate Aisha on her first great speech, and I'm sorry that your family aren't here today to have watched that, but it wasn't my supporters that have attacked them outside. It's not my supporters who are causing a rabble or smashing the place up and attacking police officers. It's not supporters on our side of the debate either. It's supporters on your side of the debate who are out there causing mayhem. Yeah?
Got him.
So before talking about his...
Tommy already coming out swinging. He already, see, this is why I respect this dude, because he not for no play. Didn't nobody call out the fact that it was them people out there that was doing that? He had to come up and say, yeah, okay, fine. There's people out there that's rioting. That's y'all people. That ain't our people. That's y'all people. Come on, man.
Islam, I'd love to believe what Jacob and the others on this panel believe, that we shouldn't be suspicious of Islam. Jacob, there's 480 Muslims who live in your constituency, 0.5%. You probably can't find a Muslim. There's 3 mosques, the main one being in Bath University. I'm from Luton Town. We have 80,000 Muslims, 45 mosques, 33% of the population. So I asked myself, why would a non-Muslim be telling any of us that we shouldn't be suspicious of Islam? Well, of course, Jacob does not have to live with the consequences of his own disastrous government of the Conservative Party and their policies, beliefs only the elite can afford to hold. So to Islam, first, should we, the West, be suspicious of it? I want to be clear what Islam is, because it's not what any of you say it is. It's not what I say it is. It's not what we wish it to be. And it's not what your friendly local imam or your taxi driver or Mr. Andalusia decides it is. Islam is defined in the Quran. Muslims that believe the Quran to be the word of Allah, written in an eternal book in heaven and revealed to Muhammad in the 7th century. And it's the Sunnah, the excellent pattern of behavior or exalted standard of moral excellence as defined in the Hadiths, which record his sayings, actions, and silent approvals or disapprovals of Muhammad.
Come on,
and
Tommy.
in the biography. And the whole idea, by the way, is based on accepting that Muhammad is the final prophet, because the Quran says so, and the Quran is the word of God because Muhammad says so. So, seeking common ground. I'm not here for a fight, contrary to what everyone believes. Everyone thinks everywhere I go, I want to fight.
This man had to go up there and teach a Muslim what Islam is. It ain't about what you think it is. It ain't about Western criticism and you being able to critique a commentary and agree with or disagree with it. Man, how the non-Muslim Tommy Robinson had to come up there and tell you what your religion is and how you supposed to understand your religion. It's just, come on, man.
I want to find some common ground. Seeking common ground. I'm not here for a fight, contrary to what everyone believes. Everyone thinks everywhere I go, I want to fight. I want to find some common ground. Finding common ground with Islam. Muhammad said to the Christians of Najran, come to a word that is just between us and you, that we worship none but Allah, and that we associated no partners with him. So Islam presents itself as a religion that wants to seek common ground with others. Come to a word, Muhammad was saying, let's find some common ground. Nothing to be suspicious of there, right? But it's the no partners. That's the key. Islam says it wants common ground, but the common ground must be Islam. Christians must deny Jesus is the Son of God, a partner. But anyway, let's look for some common ground. Okay, that's what we want to find. I've seen how this works, Andrew, so I'll take as many questions as you want at the end. I'm just going to finish my speech. How many of you in here are gay? You don't actually need to put your hands up, okay? In the Quran, through the story of Lot, homosexuality is condemned, and 4 of the 5 major schools of Islamic law think it should be punishable by death. Maybe I'm going to finish my speech. In fact, 24 countries where Islam is the state religion have criminal penalties for homosexuality. 8 of them is punishable by death. So while we're on the, maybe if you're gay, you might maybe be a little bit suspicious of this. That's in Afghanistan, Iran, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Yemen. They kill you for being gay. Who's protesting about this? When these countries, state legislators or governments visit our country, who protests? Awa, I'd just love to finish with him.
Point of order has been raised. President.
As per discussions with previous speakers, we did agree that we would take points of information from fellow speaker, guests, and audience members. If you can respect that as part of a constructive debate, it would be very much appreciated.
Thank the President for that point of order. Mr. Robinson, I think the idea that the President's putting across is
hear the question first.
Take a question every now and then. Take a question every now and then, please. Thank you.
Can we at least agree killing people because they are homosexuals is never okay? It was never okay then, and it's not okay now. Now, I'll have to listen, won't I? I'll see how this works.
Where does it say in the Quran or the teaching of Prophet Muhammad that someone who is homosexual or gay should be executed?
You don't need to convince me, mate. You need to convince the 8 Islamic countries that are killing them, the people who are being thrown off rooftops. Go have your argument with Hamas. Go have your argument with ISIS. You don't need to convince me. Now, please, if I can just finish. Again, let's talk about sex, okay?
I'm not even gonna lie. That is a good response. You see, because the Muslims is going in there to try to debate Tommy on what he's saying, and it ain't about Tommy. It's about the Islamic countries and what they doing. So that was a good response, brother. This ain't, look, I'm just telling you what y'all people is out there doing right now to this day. Y'all are literally out there right now. They are doing this. So that's true. So if he want to put that out there, he want to show, hey, look, in the West, right? This is not happening in the West. So for all of the, HDTV people that's cheering on for this stuff, this is what y'all got to know. This is what these people is doing to y'all. They get in control. Is raps for y'all.
How many of you have had sex since you got here? I want to see your hands up. I knew that was coming, right? You see, the Quran prescribes 100 lashes for the male and the female involved in what Islam considers illegal sexual intercourse. That's the Quran 24:2. But Islamic scholars have gone all in on this issue, yeah? Not just lashing. All schools of Islamic law prescribe death by stoning if a person is married. And the Shia school, Jafari, prescribes 100 lashes before you're stoned to death. So maybe, if you think no one believes in this, if you think no one believes in this barbaric stuff, in 2023, the head imam of the Green Lane Mosque, the head imam, you can watch this video, actually gives a seminar to his congregation on how we keep the modesty of the woman before we smash rocks at her head. So you see, she has to be buried up to a certain level to preserve her modesty.
Point of information. Is what you are discussing not abuse of Islamic scripture, not actually what is discussed in the Islamic scripture? Give me examples from Islamic scripture in Islamic law, not cherry-picked examples that have been taken out of context. Give me examples from the versions of the Quran that back up your argument.
She mad. She mad. Look at her. She mad because she don't know. She mad because I ain't gonna lie. What Tommy is saying is true because I've actually saw a video of them doing it. So he's not wrong. They are doing this, and maybe Tommy didn't come with hadith. Maybe he didn't come with what he's talking about, right? As far as scripture wise, but we're not gonna play these games. We not finna play these. I'm not finna come get like I would come and give you Quran verse and hadith as soon as you ask for it. But we gotta understand, Tommy is he's like a politician, and like I said, these politicians, these guys, they go off of what they see, and they go off of what Muslims are doing, and maybe I want to say majority of the time they don't have the verses to back what they're saying up, but. If Tommy was saying something wrong, I would say, yeah, he's saying something wrong. He's actually not wrong about what he's saying, how they are conducting and what people teach. Because I've seen it before, and I've seen it in hadith.
Should the lady? The simple question is, Should the gay person who was thrown off the rooftop have been suspicious? Should the lady buried into the ground having rocks smashed at her head, which is the law which I'll get to?
Does it matter what the Quran says when Muslims do not practice it? Does it matter when the Muslims who are professing exactly what you just said are the ones who are saying?
Yep. Now, 25 countries where Islam is the state religion have criminal penalties for sex outside of marriage. 9 of them is punishable by death. So again, no one needs to have this argument with me. You don't need to convince me, okay? You don't need to convince me. Again, who's protesting about this? Can we at least agree as a room? Can we look for some common ground with the Muslim community? Stoning people for having sex outside of marriage is never okay. It was never okay. It's not okay then, and it's not okay now.
Since Jewish law says the same thing.
I'm not here to talk about Jewish law.
Should we be suspicious of Jewish law
That's not the
equally?
question.
Will you be consistent, sir?
That's not the question we're here for. If you want to have that question debate, have it. Yeah? Can we at least agree with the Muslim community? Okay, in modern Britain, where you're preaching to what now 4 million Muslims, we can just put a line through the verses in the Quran, yeah, the parts of Islam's sacred text that says these things are not okay. They're not practiced now. They weren't okay then, and they're not okay now. Can we meet in the middle somewhere and have you accept the verses in the Quran today?
Will you demand that Orthodox Jews put lines through the Tanakh? Will you be the Orthodox Jews put line through the Tanakh as you are requesting Muslims to do?
I think you're confused at which debate you're at. Okay.
Right. Like what debate is that do the Muslims think that they're at? They all do the same thing, even in politics. Like, look, this is obviously something political. And this guy wants to say, will you condemn the Jews? Like, bro, this debate is about Islam and what y'all teach and what y'all practice and what y'all doing now. Right? Everybody got their own religious understanding. So regardless of what Tommy is saying, this is about Islam. Notice how they're deflecting. Will you also condemn them as well? And if he says, yeah, well, then that means both of y'all wrong. He think both of y'all wrong. So now will you address it? Like, see, that's what I'm saying. The Muslims, it's always somebody else's fault. And it's always whataboutism. Man, deal and defend your religion, bro. Simple as that. If I was up there as a Christian and somebody came and said something about that about me, I instantly have answers for the Old Testament and the laws. And, you know, obviously there's a difference between the Old and the New Testament. Like there's a difference between the Old Covenant and the New Testament, what was given to the children of Israel and how we're under the law of Christ. There's a difference. There's an easy answer for that. Muslims just, the Jews. Like, what? This ain't got nothing to do with the Jews, bro.
And the motion of this debate.
The Tanakh, will Orthodox Jews put lines through the Tanakh? Will you be the Orthodox Jews put line through the Tanakh as you are requesting Muslims to do?
I think you're confused at which debate you're at. Okay, and the motion of this debate. Now, let's turn to good old Muhammad. Okay, according to Islam's sacred text, an exalted example of moral excellence. Well, in 2014, ISIS, again, because this is important, because they're following scripture, ISIS, when they captured Yazid...
Sorry?
Man, sit, man.
Ask any Muslim
Damn,
whether they
man.
believe ISIS is following Islamic scripture.
That don't
and you will
matter.
find that no Muslim agrees that they are actually Islamic.
That's the point. Y'all don't know what a damn Muslim is. Whenever a Muslim do something wrong and they follow what the Sunnah say to a T, and yeah, look, I will agree. I will agree. Some of the stuff them people be doing be a little outrageous. I'm not even gonna lie, but that does not mean that they are not practicing Islam to a T. You have a lot of people, religious literalists, extremists, right, that practice their religion to a T. But there might be some stuff that they do that's a little extra because we dealing with flawed human beings. But we can't sit here and act like them people is not out there being real Muslims. And you guys are in the West, y'all got it good, and y'all think y'all get to come tell us what Islam is when them people, y'all run from them. Y'all run from this. Didn't we just hear something about somebody we hear about this all the time? Muslims running from Muslim countries because what Muslims are doing. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me say this. let me say it like this. Muslims run from Muslim countries because of what other Muslims are doing, right? They're not real Muslims. They just claim to be Muslims in Muslim countries under Islamic rule, under Sharia law. And y'all leave that country, come to our country and try to tell us that, no, accept us, let us take over, let us populate. And don't worry about us. Even though we're not going to assimilate, we're going to take those same customs that we had over there, bring them over here with us, and then say y'all ain't got nothing to worry about because those people aren't real Muslims. Y'all just took everything that y'all had over there, except for the violent stuff. And you do got some people that trickle in and then come in and start trying to slowly implement that stuff back in. But y'all take all of that, come over here and try to act like y'all got the real Islam when really you don't even agree with the real Islam. That's what it is. You don't agree with the real Islam. And you run around crying that everybody else know about the real Islam but you, and you supposed to be a Muslim? And you supposed to be a Muslim. This is the problem. She literally just said that. But see, questions like that piss me off. Ask anybody in here, do they think they're the real Muslims? Man, don't nobody care about what y'all think.
Ask any Muslim whether they believe ISIS is following Islamic scripture, and you will find that no Muslim agrees that they are actually Islamic.
They ain't got nothing. And
Once again,
Let me ask you a question.
I'm sorry, Madam President.
Can I just finish
think the
my
point has been made. You must allow the
Right.
speaker
So,
to continue.
talk-
in
Talking too
2014, ISIS captured Yazidi men and boys. And what they done is they pulled their pants down. They surrendered. They pulled their pants down.
I just, we're going to let Tommy cook, but I just want y'all to notice one thing. Every time Tommy is giving good points about what Muslims are doing, all of them keep asking for, oh, give me a hadith. Give me a Quran verse. Give me this, give me that. Bro, this ain't about no freaking Quran verse. This is about Islam, and should we be suspicious of Islam, the religion in itself? That religion has spawned all of this. So this ain't no verse for verse debate, because then this what he'll do. Tommy is gonna read a verse, he's gonna quote a hadith, and they're just gonna say he took it out of context. They don't want him to tell them what Muslims is doing, bro.
Can I just finish?
All they want to do is say nuh-uh and lie and say that them people ain't Muslim. And then, all right, so cool. So now let us keep doing what we doing. Nah, it don't work like that. That's why I like what he said in the beginning. You ain't got to convince me. Go talk to them, because they making y'all look bad. And you notice this, right? The Muslims not fighting them. the Muslims in the West are not actively going after them. They are not actively grouping up and creating a coalition to go after them. Instead, what they doing, they crying and complaining about everybody else. They crying and complaining about everybody else, Christians, Jews, and people of other religions. Y'all constantly trying to bring people into Islam, and then y'all literally are ignoring the people that y'all running away from in y'all Muslim countries. Why don't y'all get a big group of people together to go try to get them up out of there? You just can't. That's the point. That's why y'all left. Because you can't stand the fact that this is what your religion teaches. And that's the real Islam. The real Islam is the Islam that you left. And that's why you in the West.
The point has been made. You must allow the speaker to continue.
In 2014, ISIS captured Yazidi men and boys. And what they done is they pulled their pants down. They surrendered. They pulled their pants down. Anyone who had any pubic hair was shot in the head, and some of them had their heads cut off with knives. You can watch the videos if you want online. Yeah. Okay. They were following the example of Muhammad, who, according to Islam's own sacred text, presided over the execution of up to 900 men and boys, which was the Jewish tribe who had surrendered. And any male prisoner, let me finish, any male prisoner.
Bro, they not even trying to let this man cook. Sit down. Every time he say something crazy that Muslims is doing, they get up.
Was shot in the head, and some of them had their heads cut off with knives. You can watch the videos if you want online. Yeah. Okay. They were following the example of Muhammad, who, according to Islam's own sacred text, presided over the execution of up to 900 men and boys, which was the Jewish tribe who had surrendered, and any male prisoner who had pubic hair was executed. That is what the practice that the Muslims in 2014 were following. This is why scripture is important and then why we must be suspicious. Now, consider the fact, I'll just finish, please. Consider the fact that there are no Jews, none, in any of the 26 countries where Islam is a state religion. Countries which once held thriving Jewish communities. This is not an accident. And there are precious few Christians in any of these Islamic countries either, that once had majority Christian populations. You see, one way or another, these countries are following the example of Muhammad. I will certainly expel the Jews and Christians. Excuse me, can I just finish? I will certainly expel the Jews and Christians.
Bruh, this is insane. The Muslims are, you know what? I'm gonna say it. The demons are manifesting. This man is not even able to say a select few amount of words without them keep coming up trying to intervene in what he was saying. But notice when the Muslim girl came up and was firing off a bunch of stuff that happened, it was like only 2 people that came up and had a question. These guys are back to back trying to interrupt his speech to try to invalidate what he's saying. And it's just the reality of what Muslims are doing. Muslims can't stand to hear what Muslims do, just like Muslims can't stand to hear that Quran. They can't stand to hear that hadith, especially when we go find something bad that they don't like. The religion of denial, man. I never encountered a religion that denies its own sources, a religious group that just deny everything the religion say about itself and what the people do. Embarrassing. Can't even let this man speak, bro.
Once held thriving Jewish communities. This is not an accident, and there are precious few Christians in any of these Islamic countries either, that once had majority Christian populations. You see, one way or another, these countries are following the example of Muhammad. I will certainly expel the Jews and Christians. Excuse me, can I just finish? I will certainly expel the Jews and Christians from the Arabian Peninsula and will not leave any but Muslim. That's a quote of Muhammad, Sahih Muslim. Sahih being the authentic, considered most authentic hadith. Please, can I just finish?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Man, you done had 4 questions, man. You done got up and sat down 4 to 5 times, man. Go on somewhere, bro.
On the point.
Sorry, you don't have to accept. No, it doesn't. Okay.
Sit down.
So, of course, put your hands up if you think it's okay for a man older than most of your dads, say in their 50s, to marry someone in infant school, let's say 6 years old, and consummate that marriage, rape, when the little girl reaches 9. By the way,
how much y'all want to bet somebody get up? How much y'all want to bet a Muslim get up? And it might be that same girl, bro.
Hey, that's year 5 doing key stage 2, 50s, to marry someone in infant school, let's say 6 years old, and consummate that marriage, rape, when the little girl reaches 9. By the way, that's year 5 doing key stage 2. Doing key stage 2. No, please, because I know many of you gentlemen should have your hands up at this point, no? We're going to get onto it, but you agree that Muhammad was perfect. As we know, he married a 6-year-old, had sex with her when she was 9. We've previously had this discussion, haven't we?
Oh, I knew it. There she go again. She can't help herself, man. Oh my God. She can't help herself, man. Sit down. If you don't sit down somewhere.
Do you think children should be suspicious of Islam who are studying key stage 2? Now, please, can I just finish? And of course, can I please finish?
Order.
Please let me finish. Yeah? You can get on.
The speaker declined. Please allow the speaker to continue.
And I must mention Quran 65:4, where God, debatable, God spells out the rules for divorcing prepubescent children. Okay? So let me read it. And for those who have no courses, not yet started your periods,
come on, Tommy,
who are still immature, their iddah, their waiting period is 3 months. What has happened for a child to be married, and this is the Quran telling you what the rules are and obligations to divorce a child before they've started puberty. Yeah? Can we be suspicious on this question? Is this, no, please, can I finish then? And to be honest, I'm just here. I'm the extremist, apparently. Yeah? I'm the extremist for not wanting homosexuals thrown off rooftops, not wanting women buried in the ground, and not wanting children studying Key Stage 2 to be married and raped. So of the 10 countries with the highest rates of child marriage, 7 of them are Islamic countries. There's no minimum age in Sudan, Somalia, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, because there's no minimum age in Islam. But whatever the stated legal age for marriage is in some Muslim countries, forced marriage of young girls, often to much older men, is prevalent in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, Burkina Faso, Yemen. I could go on and on. UNICEF data shows, for all of you ladies who care about women and children's rights, UNICEF data shows child brides are unlikely to finish education, more likely to believe wife beating is justified, and more likely to have experienced intimate part of violence. I'd just like to finish, please, guys. I apologise.
My goodness,
Can we at least
bro.
agree? Executing prisoners of war, including young boys, carrying out ethnic cleansing of Jews and Christians from the lands, or marrying and having sex with a little child when Muhammad was 53 years old. Can we at least agree today? Muhammad was not and is not the perfect example for mankind, nor is he an exalted example of moral excellence. Quite the opposite, in fact. Because if we can't agree this, then the West is right to be suspicious of Islam because of what the sacred text says, because of how millions of Muslims interpret the sacred text, because of how Muhammad's life is held up as the perfect example, not back then, but now, for all Muslims to follow. That's the problem. They don't recognize any of the problems and see anything wrong which Muhammad done. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you care about gay rights, if you care about women's rights, if you care about children's rights, if you care about human rights, or if you care about free speech, I urge you to support this motion.
I thank the honourable gentleman for advancing the case for the proposition, and I call upon Mr. McAdowd to continue the case for the opposition.
Okay. So, first of all, I'd like to start by thanking Oxford Union for inviting me to speak here. I am truly honoured and I'm very grateful to be here. I never thought I'd be here. To be honest, I've met a new friend of me, Jacob Rees-Mogg. So, you know, this is, I've had a nice meal, some halal chicken, which I'm sure Tommy enjoyed. So I just thanking the, and Liam, of course, likes a bit of halal chicken now. So I know you do, mate. So I'll just take this opportunity to thank you guys. So the real question, I believe the first question was, is should the West be suspicious of Islam?
So I'm guessing we got some sort of liberal. Let's see who the problem. Let's go.
Was that a question of the debate? You're nodding your head, so it must be. Right. So Tommy, you've been. Wait, I don't know why I'm here, but I'm going to answer that. Tommy's been saying the same thing for 15 years and still has to read it.
Proven right.
Right.
Proven
Yeah.
right.
Well, because you still have to read it. So obviously you don't know your case that well. So
Point of order.
should the West
Point of order. Proven right.
Yeah, right. Gosh, well, mate. So should the West be suspicious?
Point of order, do you allow people to cut in without permission from the speaker?
What? Oh my, bro! I know that this guy. Bro, this dude got some nerve crying about Tommy saying something when this dude said something about Tommy. Tommy said something. The dude interacted with him, and the Muslim comes up and is crying about interrupting when y'all literally was doing that to him his whole entire speech. Bro, these people are not real. There's no way he just got up crying about an interruption when Tommy was actually addressed. How do I zoom in? I want to zoom in on this dude, man. How do we do that? You probably can't zoom in on the computer, huh? Okay. All right. Anyway, this is crazy.
I think we ask that speeches be heard in some courtesy, gentlemen. If the point of information is declined, then please simply allow the speaker to continue.
I don't mind taking questions.
Yeah, and he didn't decline it. He actually went back and forth with Tommy. So why is this bot Muslim standing up crying? He went back and forth with him. What you crying about, man?
Well, it is for the speaker to choose whether a point of information is accepted. With that, Mr. Dowd, please continue.
I haven't even started yet. Give me a minute. Right. So should the West be suspicious of Islam? Well, the truth of that is it's going to depend. Okay, it's going to depend if you're invested in pornography, if you're invested in alcohol, if you're invested in interest banking, if you're invested in drink, drugs, criminality, then probably you should be suspicious of Islam, because it's
I don't know if I can get through this bot here, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know if I can get through this clown, this brain rot. This is brain rot. Oh, you should be suspicious of Islam if you're into all of these crazy things. If you're into adult content, if you're into alcohol, if you're into gambling, yeah, you should be suspicious of Islam. Bro, this is the dumbest rebuttal I have ever heard in my life.
Islam has come as an alternative way of life to that. Islam, what is it?
Could we add Judaism to that list?
Sure. Okay. And you can't become a Jew. So not very easily. So Islam has come as a option, an alternative to those vices in this world. Okay. The real question should
Christianity was here before Islam, and it already addressed all of that. Now, this dude is dumb. And you see why I be saying Muslims will sit back and they will allow somebody like this to just go off and just be as dumb as they possibly can. This isn't about being suspicious of Islam for the good stuff that they talk about, right? Abstaining from certain things, right? We already know that there is some good within the Quran that they're telling you to, to do. This isn't about that. This dude is terrible, man.
The real question should be, should the West be suspicious of Muslims practicing Islam in the West? That's the question. And why? Why would you be? Because Tommy said so. Because Tommy said that you should be suspicious of this religion and suspicious of practicing, or, I don't know, extreme.
Oh, he's a Muslim himself? This is a Muslim? Or he's slow. If he's a Muslim, he's slow. Yeah, this dude's a bot, whoever this is. Is he a white convert, or is this guy like what is he? Okay, ZK says he knows this guy. Is he a white convert or what? I'm gonna wait for ZK's comment. Yes, white. Oh, I knew it. White liberal convert bot.
Being Muslims, okay? So let's talk a little bit about Tommy's credibility, because Tommy has spent the last 15 years of building his credibility upon being a white man from Luton. And he's been, go on.
This debate is not about Tommy Robinson.
I'm getting to it.
Pure dumb Islamic responses. Everything other than why Islam should be allowed it. He started off good. Now let me discredit Tommy Robinson. I think everybody just wants to be suspicious of Islam because of Tommy Robinson. No, bro. It's because of what Muslims have been doing in the UK and what they do in Muslim countries. It's that simple, bro.
All right, sit down.
The gentleman's made his point. Please take your seat.
Sit down. And are you in it as well? Are you in it as well?
The speaker will be heard.
Are you in it as well? I don't mind taking out the lot of you, mate. I don't mind. It's not a problem. Listen, so the credibility, it's important to basis the credibility, okay, in the debate, of course. It's important
Gentlemen, please take your seats. Both of you gentlemen.
He just said he doesn't mind taking us out. So we have a Muslim again.
Yeah, in the debate, of course.
Mr.
In the debate,
Sacradotti,
of course.
can I ask you just to take your seats? Mr. Doward, can I ask you to just stop speaking for 1 second? Speakers will be heard with courtesy. If a point of information is offered and it is in decline, can I please ask that you allow the speaker to continue? Equally, may I say to the speaker, it is expected that points of information will be taken during your speech.
I've took about 4 or 5 so
I understand that, sir. And with that, I will ask the speaker to continue.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, can I please ask no interjections other than points of information?
Point of order, Chair,
Point of orders.
which you briefed us must be taken. A threat to take out people on the other side is unacceptable.
Totally.
And should be dealt with by the
Mr. Dowd, have you made such a threat? And if so, I must ask you to withdraw
It was a threat within the debate, to take them within the debate, because we're in a debating forum.
Mr. Dowd, can I ask you in that case to moderate your language?
I'll tell you what, I will retract that statement.
and avoid the
I
misunderstanding?
will retract what I said, if that's a doable thing. Right. So let me get on. He's built his credibility from coming from Luton and telling people that Luton is now a Muslim-run town. Predominantly, it has 40-something mosques. It has some extremist mosques, some extremist this and that, Sharia-run courts. But I'm also from Luton, you know, and I've also been in Luton for 56 years. I was born there, and I'm still there. I'm still living on the manor. As far as I know, Tommy hasn't lived there for at least 10 years. I believe now he lives in Spain, like most good patriots do. They move on to Spain. So let's talk a little bit about Tommy's time in Luton, because I'm not going to do any more with you, right? So talking about his little bit of time that he had in Luton, it's well documented that Tommy was in the Luton firm called The Mix.
Point of information. This debate is not about Tommy Robinson, what he does in his free time, what he thinks about anything.
Right.
It's about whether the West should be suspicious of Islam.
He's the one telling the West to be suspicious of Islam.
Yeah, so freaking prove your point, dummy. It ain't about Tommy. I don't care about where Tommy Robinson live at and where he been living for the last couple of months. What's wrong with this dude, bro? What is wrong with this guy? He started off, you know, obviously decent for a Muslim, you know what I mean? But it obviously bought points. But I mean, he gave points. Is that it? He started off with, if you want to be suspicious about Islam, you must be into adult content and alcohol and gambling and etc. And then he just, all right, guys, now let me talk about Tommy Robinson. Bro, what? Did nobody care about where this dude live at? Don't nobody care about where Tommy Robinson live at, bro. What's wrong with this dude, man?
Important that I take his credibility about how to say that. Okay, the arguments that he had in Luton while he was in the Mix, which was the Luton Town Football Firm gang, whatever it is, most towns and cities have them. Okay, that's what his time. There was other gangs in Luton. Wasn't the only one. No, there was other gangs in Luton. One of them was called the Gambinos. One of them was called the Yellows. I know these are ridiculous names, but we are talking ridiculous people in these gangs at the time. Let me finish, please. Okay. So I've taken a few points of information. You just seem to do it now just to stifle, because no, I'm not taking any from you. Okay. Okay. The problems that these gangs had, as Tommy would say, was either religious and or racial between Pakistanis and his football guys, was really not racial. It wasn't racial. It wasn't religious. It was normally, like most gangs, supply and demand of product. Okay. That's what it comes down to. Tommy would also say that there was an extremist group in Luton. No, there was an extremist group in Luton called Al Marjaroon. I agree with him. It wasn't.
Bruh, the debate is, should the West, the West is right to be suspicious of Islam. I mean, whoever titled this too is kind of off a little bit. I mean, it's missing some stuff. But yeah, I mean, the debate is about, should the West be suspicious of Islam, bro? Why do I care if Tommy used to be in a gang? What's wrong with this dude?
Extremist group. And I made my opposition to this group vocal at that time when they was there, you know, but even a broken clock can be right twice a day. This group was tiny. It was 8 strong at most, with maybe 8 hangers-ons, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They were barred from every mosque I knew. I don't know all of the mosques, but they were barred from every mosque that I knew. Most of the shops in the town, the Muslim shops, they didn't want to let them in either. But the amplification of their message was done by the media. The media would go to the predominantly Muslim populated area in Luton called Berry Park. They'd walk down there with a camera. They'd stick it in front of these guys and they will be straight in front of it. It was amplified deliberately to cause friction between communities. That small extremist group doesn't exist anymore. I believe they've been disbanded and they don't even hang around with each other anymore. I could tell you, yes. Okay.
If you consume booze, if you consume drugs, and if you lend money for interest, you should be suspicious of Islam.
No, I said if you invested in.
Why should we?
Because Islam has come as an alternate choice to that. Islam has come as an alternate way of life to that. I think I explained it when I mentioned it. If that. No.
Consume drugs. Okay. If you consume booze, if you consume drugs, and if you lend money for interest, you should be suspicious of Islam.
No, I said if you invested in,
Why should we?
because Islam has come as an alternate choice to that. Islam has come as an alternate way of life to that. I think I explained it when I mentioned it the first time. There's a lot more that I want to tell you. Time does not permit me to speak here for an hour. So obviously I can't go into detail about everything. I know in detail about this group of Al-Majroon because I was one of the trusted go-betweens from mosques in Luton that was trying to get them to stop talking. As he says a lot of the time, that there's not enough calling out of Muslims in the public, but it is. It does.
Man, what is this dude talking about, bro?
Happen. There was 500 mosques that wrote an email condemning the grooming gangs, but it never really got out there. And they all done that, okay? They done that years ago. I think it's 2013. Anyway, these mosques in Luton was a go-between between the Al-Majroon group and the mosque was me, because I was a trusted go-between. Even though I was anti this group, they still trusted me to go between them. And I know that most of Luton didn't want them there. It wasn't.
He just get up there saying anything. This dude said masjids sent 500 emails or whatever condemning grooming gangs. Okay. Y'all up here right now trying to condemn the Muslims for being Muslims, bro. Who cares? It ain't about what a mosque is gonna do because of like these people, they don't even get what they're saying. They're literally saying, yes, we know that Muslims are doing this. And we also condemn the Muslims for doing this, and we're Muslims as well. The point is where does it derive from? Not whether you guys have infighting on what the true Islam teaches and what it and what comes from that. So it doesn't matter if a masjid sent 500 emails and let's say told Muslims to stop trying to seek marriage of like 8 or 9 year olds, right? It doesn't matter because that's going against the Sunnah. So regardless of how you guys feel, right? There's been documented cases where these guys are literally seeking out young children. And that's because, according to the Sunnah, you guys are able to deal with young kids, children. So 500 emails from a masjid, so what?
The case, okay? Like I said, I would love to say more. There's a lot more beans that I could spill, to be quite honest with you. So let me give you a version of Luton that I recognize. Tommy has a version of Luton that he recognizes. Tommy has a version of Luton that he recognizes. Let me give you a couple of points of the Luton that I recognize, okay? And I'll firstly go back to the first lockdown in COVID, where everyone was social distancing and taking it seriously and everything else. There was a Muslim charity in Luton, and it's still there actually. There was a Muslim charity in Luton. I was volunteering for them because I was off work for a few weeks, okay, due to the building sites shutting down. We were handing out food packs. Muslims were coming and handing in food and or giving us money to buy food from supermarkets and whatever. I'm going to say 99%, but it's more realistically 100%. But I'll say 99%. The food packs that I personally handed out were to white old age pensioners that lived in old age pensioner homes or care homes. I never once handed it out to a Muslim family, a Polish family, or any other, but it was purely white old age pensioners.
Information.
Yes.
I was asked what was charity? What charity?
A Crisis Aid. Okay, and it's still there. It's in Sundon Park. Okay, right. So it's still there, the charity. Okay, so we was handing out these things. I remember one 90-year-old man, he had to buzz me into his care home, and I put the bags outside and had to step up the hallway because there was social distancing. He come out buckled in half. I tried to speak to him. He told me, I've got cancer, I'm 93 years old, and I'm going to die soon. And none of my family speak to me. None of my family help me. This is the Islam in Luton that I recognize. Let me give you another one. I was in Farley Hill.
Oh my gosh, bro. This is so bad. This guy is so bad, bro. This is so bad.
Not opposite the Parrot pub that Tommy would have remembered, okay? There was a care home. I was working there for BTS, the council. What?
I do understand that the speaker was confused about the motion at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm not confused. I'm not confused. I'm talking about Islam. If you remember, I've said Islam quite a lot in my talk, okay? Don't stand up for a point because I'm done with you now, yeah? So listen.
Yeah, no, you're not talking about Islam, bro. You talking about what you did. You talking about you and you handing out food to the homeless in packages and you giving these little stories, bro. Nobody said that Muslims never did anything for the homeless, or Muslims don't feed people, and etc. Like, bro, we went to that epic masjid in Texas. The guy let us in. They had basketball courts. They had a whole kitchen where they constantly prepare food and get food, I guess, I don't know, imported or whatever. I don't quote me on that, but they had boxes of food that they was getting ready to go give to the homeless. And I still don't want Islam to take over Texas. I don't care if y'all giving away food. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, we not supposed to be suspicious of Islam because they giving away food to the homeless or to the needy.
So I was working at this care home.
That's
and
his
a
timer.
taxi
He
come
done. Good. That was his timer. Y'all heard that bell?
pulling in. Okay. I was working at this care home. And a taxi come pulling in. Okay. I noticed that one of the women was in the passenger seat. She clearly was distressed. This big fat Pakistani brother with a big black beard jumped out, opened the car door. She'd fallen over in the
want to
street. He
skip
picked
him?
her up, put her in the car.
All right, we can skip him. Yeah, he ain't talking about nothing. He ain't talking about nothing. He just want to tell people what he did. Hey guys, I gave some food away, and that's the real Islam.
Both sides. Point of information is declined. Not I.
The sweetness of Iman. And then you would never be suspicious of Muslims again. Because she is.
Hey guys, look at how good Islam is. So don't be suspicious of it when we talk about the bad stuff.
Past the age of period. She's a mature woman.
Okay, there we go. Finally,
my
man,
friend,
get to
Muslims that I
something.
know, I mean no harm to anybody. I will defend myself if I have to, but no Muslim that I know thinks like that either. Why wouldn't I want to share that? Where is the problem with that? My friend here, my colleague, is going to deal with the age of Aisha. I dealt with it for 10 or 11 minutes on Liam's podcast, so I don't think that I need to go into that again. My friend will deal with that. Okay. You mentioned the verse in the Quran about prepubescent women being married. It's not true. Okay, if you knew what you were talking about, you wouldn't have said it. The word that's used for the female in the Quran is a word that's used for women. That ayah of the Quran was revealed because a man come to ask the Prophet, how do I divorce my wife if she does not have periods, because she is past the age of period? She's a mature woman. That's what that was for. Then the verse was revealed. No, that's not.
Yeah, what a bot. This dude is a freaking liar, bro. Hold on, y'all. Just in case people watch this back and get to this point, man, this dude is a bot. This is why you do. I mean, in these type of situations where it's no sources being shown and all that stuff like that, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for them to actually just go and show this dude nah, bro, you're actually lying. And what's funny is that the Muslims will sit there and allow this dude to be as dumb as he possibly can so he can go up there and just defend Islam. That's what I don't like about Islam, bro, and Muslims in general, who come into these debates and stuff like this, because they will sit back and allow the revert to be as dumb as he possibly can be. Bro, it literally says he even tried to tell the story about why the verse was revealed like a bot. Bro, it literally says here, bro, the same for the young who have not reached the years of menstruation. And then look at this. He wants to tell the story. He literally misquoted the story. He left out the fact that they was talking about little kids and said that they were asking him about women in menopause. This dude is a bot, bro. Look at this, bro. The story... What they say? They say, "Oh, you have forgotten. You have forgotten." What was it? Where is it at? Oh, here we go. Some women are not mentioned in the Quran. The young, the old, and the pregnant. So he quoted the story. Let me zoom in so y'all can see this. So he quoted the story, guys, and he lied about it. Or he just ignorant. Since he's a convert, I just think he's just ignorant of it, and he just went off of what somebody else said, and then just ate it up and just came on stage and just lied to everybody. It literally the same story he quoted right here is talking about the young. What a bot, bro. These people, man, no shame. These people have no shame, bro. That's what the story is about. And you see them little robots in there clapping. Yeah, this dude lying. Y'all sit up here clapping. He lying. Y'all don't even know if he telling the truth or not.
That's what it is. You're not an expert of periods because she is past the age of period. She's a mature woman. That's what that was for. Then the verse was revealed. Is for women. That ayah of the Quran was revealed because a man come to ask the Prophet, how do I divorce my wife if she does not have periods because she is past the age of period? She's a mature woman. That's what that was for. Then the verse was revealed. No, that's what it is. You're not an expert on the Quran. You're not an expert on Islam. You present yourself to be an expert to people that don't know any better, but you're not talking to those people today. No.
Oh, really? You're not talking to those people today. You literally just lied, bro. You literally just lied, bro. We just pulled the top syrup right now, showed this dude he lied, and then tried to act like he knew what he was talking about.
No more points of information. No more points of information. We talk about, I'll be 1 second, yeah, 1 minute. We talk about reform. They talk about want to reform Islam. How dare he? How dare they and how dare he say a man that is ignorant within the religion of Islam talk about reforming of Islam, okay? People that come to talk here are people of intelligence, people of professorships, people that are intellects in their field. This man is not an intellect in the field or an authority in the field of Islam, and his presence about talking about Islam is a disservice to this place.
Man, you're terrible, man.
I call upon Mr. Lawrence Fox to continue the case for the proposition.
That dude was horrible, man.
Do I need to raise this up, or is it suitably heightened for the Luton community? Before Neville Chamberlain flew to Germany to appease Adolf Hitler, he said, European peace is what I'm aiming at, and I hope this journey may open the way to get it. And here we are, 87 years later, and European peace and peace in the West is being threatened again. Upon his return from Germany with his piece of paper, Chamberlain said, we are resolved that the method of consultation shall be the method adopted to deal with any other questions that may concern our two countries. And 338 days later, Britain was at war with Germany. So this morning I was thinking about this debate and the worthiness of consultation, which Chamberlain invoked. And the motion, this House believes the West is right to be suspicious of Islam. And then I started thinking about a cartoon that I have here in this envelope. It's a cartoon which I think it instills in me feelings much, much more worrying than suspicion. But, you know, in the spirit of consultation, I'll just leave it here for the moment, if we're okay with that. So, first, let us start with the word suspicion. There was a minority, going back to Chamberlain and that brilliant foreign policy, there was a minority who were gravely suspicious of fascism leading up to the Second World War and were very vocal in that suspicion, who thought that Chamberlain's appeasement policy was just wrong, that far from being the peace in our time he promised, our appeasement would only serve to embolden Hitler. One of those who faced the most criticism for his prescience, suspicious prescience, perhaps, was Winston Churchill. He saw fascism for what it was, an existential threat to the West. Yeah. No one needs a history lesson from me, but it is possibly worth noting now, especially here, and thanks to our lovely friends outside, that it is perfectly acceptable and actively encouraged in every school, university, TV channel, and media organization across the West to be suspicious of fascism. In fact, if we listen to our friends outside, that's not enough. You've got to be an anti-fascist. You've got to take direct action against fascism. Chamberlain today just seems like a moronic simpleton to me. So perhaps the deaths of millions of people could have been avoided if only Churchill's suspicion had been heeded, that his perspective acknowledged, but he stood alone whilst the train continued to hurtle towards us because we didn't want to upset anybody. It is an entirely natural and positive human instinct to be suspicious of many things, from teaching our children not to get in cars with strangers, to friends checking in on each other when one is going on a date with a new person for the first time. Suspicion is healthy. It sparks in every single sinew of our being. It is the product of generational generational caution in pursuit of survival. It's central to our very fundamentalist of instincts. It isn't prejudice, it's prudence. Suspicion isn't hatred either. It's pattern recognition. And I would like to make it clear at this point, Awa, I would like to thank you so much for inviting us to have this debate. And I know you've struggled so much with people trying to cancel you, and I know exactly what that feels like. So thank you so much.
You see what he said though? Suspicion is pattern recognition. Suspicion is pattern recognition. That's perfect. And he also just basically confirmed my suspicion, where I was like, I'm like, what is that noise outside? And those are the protesters. So I'm pretty sure it's like liberals and a mixture of Muslims and stuff like that outside too. But yeah, they just outside making noise, man.
I think I would like to make it very clear that I am not here to express suspicions of individual Muslims at all. There are many Muslims, including within my own family, who I love deeply. And as a Christian, I'm commanded to love my neighbor and to pray for my enemy. It is my most strongly held belief on this planet that every single human life is sacred and all lives matter. But I'm absolutely not, and I will not be commanded to love or submit to ideas or ideologies. As was mentioned earlier, as Jesus said, render to Caesar what is Caesar. Within one directive, he created the separation between church and state, which in Islam does not exist, which literally Islam literally means submission. So there is no church, there is no state, there is only Islam. My suspicion of Islam, therefore, is strongly, and I think reasonably, held. Islam is a comprehensive social, political, and military doctrine which leaves no part of its followers' lives untouced. As Andrew Hussey, the British historian, says, Islam is more closely resembles a ruthless.
Hold up. So we got the Logetics app in the building, guys. We have thousands of people who downloaded the app already. Amazing, guys. And also, there we go. We got the update. So we did have some people that was asking for the Android version. The Android version is coming this week. There we go. We got the confirmation right here, guys. So let's go. I'm waiting for the confirmation. You said, what's the app? What app? Oh man, you ain't okay. Hold on, guys. Give me 2 minutes to go ahead and get this link in here for him. Let me go ahead and get this link. Yeah, man, you late, man. You late. You said what app? The best app in the world for Christian apologetics. That's what app, man. We're gonna go ahead and get you right. Hopefully you got an Apple. An Apple. Oh, I'm talking about an Apple. Hopefully you got an iPhone, so you can go ahead and just download it now. I like to. Let me go ahead and get this link for you, my boy, so you don't be, you know what I'm saying? Let me pin this too. Oh, the app. Man, this dude said, what app? Well, when you download it, man, just prepare to be excited. Let me get this brother this app real quick, or sister, whoever that is, and then we get right back to the debate, guys. All right. I know everybody in here enjoying it, man. I know all 600 of y'all have already downloaded the app, bro. Because there's no way we could have thousands of people downloaded the app already in one day, and all 600 of you don't have the app already. Now some of you with Android, y'all ain't got it, but don't worry, it's coming this week. It's coming this week. All right, there it is, guys. The link is pinned. It says, yeah, download the app, guys. Okay. We'll do some more. I'll do some more videos on it and stuff like that a little later. But it's the best Christian apologist app right now, study app out right now. Facts. Yeah, we charted too as well too. First day, that first day, guys, we were top 34, went to top 36, and it's still rising. Once we get everything consolidated and stuff like that, we'll do some more heavy promo for more downloads, and we'll probably push for #1 app on the Apple Store. And who knows what we're going to get on Google. But all right, let's go.
Efficient war machine than a religion. Islam is borderless, expansionary, and interested only in submission to Allah. And then for us, unfortunate.
We got brothers in here saying download it. I appreciate that for you guys going there and downloading it right now. Appreciate that. Everybody in here, if you got an Apple iPhone and you haven't downloaded it, just click the link and download it. It's free. And on your free time, go ahead and study the app. It's amazing. It's amazing, guys. All right.
For some of us, unfortunate non-believers, we're given three choices.
Point of information. When was the last time there was a jihad declared against a foreign government and the expansion of Muslim lands into non-Muslim lands? When was the last time?
What's that got to do with what I'm talking
Well, you
about?
said that it's a military war machine. It's been around for quite a long time.
A point of order has been raised.
When people are giving points of information, you need to be very audible so the microphone picks up.
I thank the ex-president for his. I'm not sure that's a point of order.
I'm also,
take a seat again.
as people may or may not have noticed, I'm not an Islamic scholar, and I'm not into giving you a history lesson about the Quran. But I will give you a history lesson into the bits of the Quran that I understand and the bits of Islam I understand through those that I love and from my readings. So Islam gives you three options, as far as I can tell, as a Westerner. Submit. Pay the jizya, the tax, which institutionalizes inferior status for non-Muslims in Islamic states. Or, excuse me, 3, war with Muslims. Right. Notably, within those three options that Islam offers you, there is not one option which says, let's live in peaceful coexistence as equals in a pluralistic society. Not once. Not once does it say that.
Man, why she always got something to say, man? Sit down. Hey, notice this, guys. So we're an hour in. She's probably stood up the most out of everybody. Sit down, man. Every time somebody says something detrimental about Islam like that, here she come with her hand up. Goodness.
I'm searching.
And we're gonna rewind it when she get up. But I'm just saying, in an Islamic country, what she's trying to defend and fight for, she wouldn't even be able to be in the room. She wouldn't even be able to be in the room. What are we doing?
Option which says, let's live in peaceful coexistence as equals in a pluralistic society. Not once. Not once does it say that.
I'm certain you are aware that there is an entire chapter in the Quran, chapter called O Disbelievers. The final line of that verse in the Quran is, to you is your faith and to me is mine. Are you aware of that chapter in the Quran? And are you aware?
That don't got nothing to do with what he's saying. To you, your religion, and to me be mine. That has nothing to do with equal opportunity in a Muslim country, meaning that non-Muslims can have all of the same right. Everyone has equal rights. That has nothing to do with what he's saying. Bro, she just misunderstood everything.
There is not one option which says, let's live in peaceful coexistence as equals in a pluralistic society. Not once. Not once does it say that.
I'm certain you are aware that there is an entire chapter in the Quran, chapter called O Disbelievers. The final line of that verse in the Quran is, to you is your faith and to me is mine. Are you aware of that chapter in the Quran? And are you aware of the teachings of tolerance the Quran and the Hadith and the Sunnah have taught us for centuries?
All right, thank you. I'm just going to explain to you. One of the reasons why I didn't want to start quoting Quran verses was because I didn't want to come here and start talking about, it says here that you chop people's heads off, it says here that you do that, and it says here that you do that. I'm sure that there are very, very, very many verses in the Quran that talk about peace and love and happiness. It's just all we get is the bombs, the running over, the knives and the beheadings. So I'll move on if that's all right. Thank you very much. I'm done. Move on. Thank you very much. So I've said notably peaceful.
Right. Thank you. Notice this, guys. The Muslims are going in trying to have like a scripture debate. This ain't no scripture debate. This is about what the Muslims are doing. Notice how they can't even focus. This is not about a scripture debate about how you can quote a scripture and we go back and forth and this, and that. Nah, bro. This is about what Islam is doing, what the followers of Islam is doing. And we know what they're doing over there in those Muslim countries. Simple as that. The Muslims can't even focus. This not like they must have thought they was coming on one of our panels or something. This is politics. Politics don't care about your scriptures. They don't care about your scriptures. They don't care about playing scripture games or none of that. They don't care about none of that. They care about what y'all are doing. That's what they care about in politics. What are the people doing? What is the results of this? And you see, they can't even focus. All they worried about doing is denying what they books say.
Coexistence with non-Muslims is not an opportunity offered. A position which can reasonably be held to say that it creates not just suspicion, but tension within a Western, secular, liberal, Christian goldfish bowl that Tom Holland tells us we all live in, right? That's where we live. We do. No one knows anything anymore. Everyone's feelings matter. So one thing is certain and is backed up by all the data. Muslims living in the West are pretty suspicious of us. So I'm not going to talk about why the West should be suspicious of Islam. Let's talk about how suspicious Islam is of the West. The Policy Exchange report titled Unsettled Belonging, published in 2016, which claims to be the most extensive research of British Muslims ever conducted, revealed that, let's do it, 43% of British Muslims supported the introduction of Sharia, not British law, Islamic law. 53% preferred to send their children to school with strong Muslim values, suspicious perhaps of Western ones. Maybe, I don't know. 44% that schools should be able to insist on face coverings. Does this sound like a community which seeks integration? Do we have a right to be suspicious of those who reject our values and the societal norms of their host country? 24% sympathized with violence organized by groups to protect their religion. That's what the Muslims say. And 31% thought it was acceptable to keep more than one wife, illegal in Britain, but fine in Sharia, apparently. And 35% believe that the Jews have too much power in the UK, 52% compulsory halal. I could go on and on and on and on. But most important to me is the free speech of this. So let's get this out, shall we? 78% of British Muslims believe that no publication should publish pictures of Muhammad. An overwhelming majority. That rises to 87%. That's 9 out of every 10 Muslims that are walking the streets today in a country which absolutely abandoned blasphemy laws. Suspicion is not strong enough a word. The West should resist Islam in the strongest terms on free speech grounds alone. So here we are with this cartoon, right? And it's time to show that I will not submit. I will not adhere to the religious laws of far-off places. Now, my wife asked me not to show this for fear of repercussions in my family, but I told her that if I did not, then I had already submitted to Islam. So here we are.
Is it not enough that?
Gosh, bro. She cannot keep quiet. I almost knew she was going to get up.
Half the team that invited you to this debate were Muslim women who wanted to hear out your expression and your arguments. Is it not enough that I, as a Muslim president, have invited you to this chamber to give your arguments? Is that not enough justification and evidence for you to believe that we do believe in free speech? I would not become the president of a free speech society if not for that.
Thank you, Al.
You absolutely don't believe in free speech, because every single time somebody tries to say something about Islam, here you are jumping up, like you got a problem, trying to shut everybody down. You can't have it both ways. If you believe in free speech, just stop trying to defend yourself and let the man speak. Notice when the Muslims is going on, she ain't got nothing to say. You ain't got nothing to say unless somebody say something about Islam. Then here you come jumping up. Man, go on somewhere with all that, man.
If not, then I had already submitted to Islam. So here we are.
Is it not enough that half the team that invited you to this debate were Muslim women who wanted to hear out your expression and your arguments? Is it not enough that I, as a Muslim president, have invited you to this chamber to give your arguments? Is that not enough justification and evidence for you to believe that we do believe in free speech? I would not become the president of a free speech society if not for that.
Thank you, Al.
And if you believe in free speech, your religion don't. So we not even finna play that. We not even finna play, man.
All right. May I? Thank you very much. May I finish? Excuse me.
Point of order having been raised, I'll hear the ex-librarian.
It's a long time since I've been in this chamber and knew the rules off by heart. In the House of Commons, and we model ourselves on the House of Commons, props are not allowed. I wonder whether the rule on props is the same in the Oxford Union.
I thank the honourable gentleman for his point of order.
Excuse me for 1 second.
One moment.
In the
one
absence,
moment.
You see how they all panicking? They all panicking. They all panicking about what he got in this folder. Panicking, but you believe in free speech. Let him say what he got to say. Y'all just sat up here and let the Muslim come up here and try to slander Tommy Robinson about where he live and gangs and all of that. And then as soon as this man want to come up and show a little cartoon. Now I ain't gonna lie, if it's crazy, then okay, yeah, come on, man, you're doing too much. But if it's like if it's just funny, well then, yeah, it's free speech. Obviously, there's a line we got to draw, but come on, bro. Y'all just let this Muslim come up here and talk down on Tommy Robinson and where he live and his past and all that. Come on, bro. And this dude ain't got up and said nothing.
Mr. Fox, one moment, Mr. Fox. The ex-president is also raising a point of order, I think.
Just it's helpful to inform the ex-librarian and others, at least my 4 years involved with society, that ban was not extended and didn't seem to apply to Israel and Palestine flag.
thank you. So, right. I just want to wrap this up.
I am going to rule on the point of order. There is no bar in the forms of the House against the use of props. However, I would encourage Mr. Fox to make the point and move
on.
Exactly. So y'all heard what the other dude said. So the dude said, okay, well, if you want to ban props, well, you didn't ban that for everybody else. So the Muslims coming in with props and flags and all of that stuff like that, you ain't say nothing about that. As soon as this man want to come in with his prop, now you talking, now you got something to say. But these people believe in free speech, literally being hypocritical right in front of our faces.
It was until points of order. So it is in that spirit that I will not submit that I show you this as an Englishman who believes in free speech. I will not submit. I will not bow down. Right.
And that was it.
I think which
and that's it. You see. He got them, bro. He got them, bro. He got them, bro. He got them, bro. Wow. If you could prove a point without even saying it, this man just did it, bro. This dude is goated for that. Wow. Look at how all of the Muslim side panicked, bro. And all of the people who really is okay for free speech on the left side of the screen, they all just sat there and was just, hey, let's see what you got to say. Yeah, go ahead. Let's see what you got to say. He literally proved his point, bro. That was goated. I'm not gonna lie. That was cold. That was crazy. They all panicked and was, yeah, okay.
So it is in that spirit that I will not submit.
That was good.
I will not submit. I will not bow down. Right. So I think which rather proves the point I was trying to make, that in this envelope lived your fear and your fear of Islam and what Islam will do to you that when you upset its very oversensitive sky wizard. And what lived in this room is a healthy and brilliant and noble British tradition of suspicion of Islam. I encourage you to pass the motion. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna lie. He just cooked that, bro. dude, he proved that they are not here for free speech using themselves. All he did was put a picture that wasn't even disrespectful to Islam, never said that it was, and literally opened the envelope. And before he opened the envelope, look, he grabbed it. Before he opened it, they all start panicking, bro. Come on, man. He just proved the point right there. That's the point proven, bro.
I thank the honourable gentleman for that speech advancing the proposition, and indeed for his. We probably have some pens if you want it signed. We can arrange that later on.
It's Hamog.
And I now call upon the president to continue the case for the opposition.
Here she goes. She finally got her little. She finally got her little turn to speak. I can't wait to see what she got to say.
Right. There is anger in this room tonight. There is anger in homes and on streets and throughout communities that no longer feel safe and no longer feel like they matter. Anger from people who feel that no government in any party in a generation has told them the truth about why their lives are the way that they are, why their rent is unpayable, why they cannot get a GP appointment, why the country they knew is not the country their children are inheriting. I'm not going to stand here tonight and tell you your anger is wrong. I'm not going to dismiss you as a racist for asking honest questions about a country that has stopped working for you. And that is why I wanted this debate to be held, because we have seen what happens when people's anger goes unaddressed. It does not disappear. It looks for somewhere to go. And there are people in this country, people on that side of the argument, who have made it their business to be standing there when that anger arrives, ready to point it in a direction that serves them and, believe me, hurts you. The proposition does not have a monopoly on that anger. Mr. Robinson and Mr. Fox have built careers directing that anger at easier targets, scapegoating Islam and Muslim communities, not because we are the cause of your suffering, not because we are a direction of your suspicion, but because when you are profiting from a hollowed out country, it is safer to scapegoat a minority, to set its citizens against one another, than it ever would be to finally let them ask who hollowed their country out in the first place. But first, let me do what I believe side proposition has missed the mark on when this discussion is being
crying, just up there crying. Notice this: all of the Muslims that have came up here and spoke have either said something that has absolutely nothing to with defending why we shouldn't be suspicious of Islam, aside from maybe some small stuff. I mean, so far I haven't watched the whole thing, and the rest have literally just been crying and diverting and shifting and victimizing themselves. I can tell her whole speech might just be victimizing herself.
Held, let me reiterate what this motion is and what it is not. The motion is not the West is right to be suspicious of Salman Abedi, the Manchester Arena bomber. The motion is not the West is right to be suspicious of jihadist ideologies, of Al-Qaeda, of ISIS, of the examples that you've presented. I, as a Muslim, and I am certain and I can assure you, as many, the vast majority of Muslims are equally as suspicious of those people, of those organizations, as anyone in this room.
That's cap. That's cap. Get out of here. And the prompt isn't, should the West be right to be suspicious about Muslims? It's, should the West be right to be suspicious of Islam?
Let me get to my introduction. Let me get to the motion. The motion is the suspicion of Islam itself, not some caricature that has been painted by Lawrence or by Tommy, or from selected verses in the scripture without context, without understanding, without reference to any of the verses that preceded it or came after it. It is not selective understanding by people who do not believe in Islam. The people who behead, the people who wage wars, the people who attack, and the people who stone and behead, and these are not followers of Islam. The motion is about Islam.
Yeah, that was the dumbest. This is not about the followers of Islam. The motion is about Islam. Are you? Did she just say that? Did I hear that correctly?
The people who behead, the people who wage wars, the people who attack, and the people who stone and behead, these are not followers of Islam. The motion is about Islam.
Oh, these are not followers of Islam. The motions about Islam. Notice what she just said. Look at her face too. She tripping. Look at this. We might put her on 2x speed in a minute. Look, bro, she just said, oh, it's not about waging war. Okay, well, then what is this? What is this? Let me guess. We reading this out of context too? Let me guess. We read this out of context too, huh? I guess when one of them ISI guys read this, right? It's out of context. Or am I tripping? I don't know. I could be tripping. We might need to throw her on 2x speed real quick. Cause she up here. I hate when ignorant Muslim females come up try to defend Islam and they don't know nothing. They don't know nothing about their own religion. Strike fear in the disbelief. And they're talking about striking fear in the disbelievers and all that, man. Come on, bro. These Muslims be all up on the internet talking about may Allah curse you and may Allah this, and that, man. Come on, man. Go somewhere. These people has always had this little weird counter theology. Let's read this. Indeed, the penalty of those who wage war. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Didn't she just look at her face? Didn't she just
are not behead the people who wage wars, the people who
wage wars? Hold on. I don't think she read her Quran. Indeed, the penalty for those who wage war against Allah and his messenger and spread mischief in the land is unaliving, crucifixion, cutting off of their hands and feet on the opposite sides, or exile from the land. This penalty is a disgrace for them in this world, and they will suffer a tremendous punishment. So wait a minute. So when an ISI guy reads this, and they see disbelievers that disbelieve in Islam or go against Islam or cause mischief in the land, they got options, man. They got options. Look at all these options they got. They got options, man, according to their book. So when she talk about them people that's waging war, they doing it for a reason. They're literally doing it for a reason. Shout out to LA Apologetics for throwing that in there, man. Shout out to the mods, man. Download the app. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, but you know, this girl don't know what she's talking about, man.
Attacking the people who stone and beheaded. These are not followers of Islam. The motion is about Islam.
I just can't get over this stupid statement.
The motion is about the body of the teaching, the 1,400-year tradition, the faith of the people, almost all of whom have been further removed in their faith in my faith from the.
Nah, I'm just playing. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do her like that.
Abhorrent crimes committed supposedly in their name, and this is the important bit that I think you all miss. Yes.
So people who killed the Coptic Christians, people who killed for ISIS, were they not part of that 1.9 billion? Were they just not part of that?
They were not following the teachings of Islam, and I will get to exactly why. They were not following the teachings of Islam, and I will get to why. The motion is about Islam, not about people who claim to believe in Islam and then misrepresent and denigrate our religion.
Oh my God. I see what I'm saying. Like this is so dumb. The way that you deal with the Muslims that are doing all these atrocious acts is to just say that they're not Muslim, and then to say that they're taking what the book says out of context. You literally all over y'all Sunnah hadiths, we could literally find reasons to connect what these guys are doing, bro. It's not hard. And as a matter of fact, if y'all watch like that Vice documentary, which I wish I was able to fully play on here, but they got some strike stuff, copyright content ID thing going on. Those guys were quoting hadith, quoting Quran.
The motion is that the body of teaching itself is the cause of those atrocities in a way that Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, and even secular ideologies are not the causes of their own, that our faith is inherently incompatible with and in fact are a danger to British society, its values, its traditions, and its culture.
I just want to look, we're gonna let her do her little thing, you know, and if I get annoyed, I'm gonna just skip. But listen, I just want to point out that she would not be able to do this in an Islamic country that has Sharia law. She is in the Western country that allows her to do this, and she's parading for a religion that doesn't even allow her to do this, nor dress like this, nor be in the building, nor speak like this, nor have her turn, nor even be the president of something like this. They keep calling her the president, so she's got some sort of leadership somewhere in this spot. And she's literally defending something that will literally strip her of her position if we were to take her and put her in an Islamic country run by Sharia law. None of this is happening. None of this is available to you. Like this is the embarrassing part. And these people just want to always come up and say that's not the true Islam. Well, then go talk to them people over there, man. Go try to heal and fix those Islamic countries. How about y'all go back to those Islamic countries where y'all think the people that's over there is not practicing Islam right? And how about you go do this over there and let's see how that works. How about that? How about that? How about you go to a Muslim country that's Sharia run, and how about you go do this there? Let me know how that work out. Because we don't need you to do that here. Go do that over there so then y'all can have a better living over there. So y'all parents, with all due respect, because I get it, y'all parents won't have to keep leaving from over there and coming up over here. Go do that over there. Oh, I know why. Because you can't. You can't. That's why. Why are y'all here doing this? This not no Muslim country. We shouldn't even be talking about this. Unfortunately, the UK has just let too many of them, migrate in. So it is a discussion for them. But I'm be real, like, bro, in America, like, bro, I'm not trying to hear none of that. This is not no Muslim country. Y'all want to bring that stuff over here? No, go over there if y'all like it. Sneeko just went to Medina, right? The Holy Land, the holy city, right, of Islam. Man, you barely saw any Muslim women walking around. Any Muslim women walking around. I even myself have went to a Muslim country, Egypt. You barely see women walking around, bro. It's all men outside, bro. All men is outside. So it's like, bro, like we're not about to play these games, bro. I've single-handedly experienced a Muslim-run country. They women is not even outside doing nothing. They not even outside. You don't even see them, bro. It's all men outside doing everything. That's it. Barely see some women if they got to go to like the store, go grab a little something here and there. But they're not outside like that. Just, hanging out freely, kicking it and doing all that. They're not outside. And that's one major problem that I noticed. And yet you have a woman right here that is living the luxuries of a Western country, trying to make a case for why Islam, we shouldn't be suspicious of Islam when we see what they do when you have Islam in a Sharia-run country. I mean, we just see it. I mean, this type of stuff right here is embarrassing and it's sad. It's like, bro, what are you even defending? Go do that over there. Go fix it over there. Go fix it over there. If you think it's not that big of a deal, then go to an Islamic country that's run by Sharia and you tell us how you tell us your experience. Because from my understanding, they all trying to get up out of there. I'm just saying.
Every Muslim, therefore, warrants a presumption of suspicion, and I'm going to, point by point, take your arguments at their highest and tell you why they are wrong.
Good.
First, given that there were arguments presented by Lawrence, I'm not too sure where he's gone, Lawrence and Tommy, there you are, Lawrence and Tommy about presumed and supposed scriptures and points in the Quran and verses, I want to take you through what they actually say, what the teachings actually say, what Islam actually says, not the caricature you've been painting. And then I'd like to ask you whether you are suspicious of those values and those cultures. The claim that the Quran is a manual of violence and that mainstream Islam is therefore inherently at war with and in contradiction with Western values is what I've heard tonight. You will have heard, for example, both from JL and Tommy Robinson, that the proposition calls the sword verse, kill the unbelievers wherever you find them. What you will not have heard is the verse immediately before it, which exempts anyone who has kept a peace treaty with the Muslims. You would not have heard the verse immediately after it, which orders Muslims to grant safe passage to any non-Muslim who asks for it and to escort them to safety. You will not have heard that every major classical commentator on the Quran across 1400 years and every Muslim that actually follows the scripture agrees that the verse was about a very specific group of Arab tribes who had signed a peace agreement with the early Muslim community and then broke it in the middle of war in 17th century Arabia. It is dishonest. It is dishonest to stand.
Does she realize why the treaty was set in the first place? If you ask her what was the reason for the treaty in the first place, it's because of the Muslims. What is she talking about? And if we go to chapter 9, bro, she's literally like, this is crazy, bro. She's literally talking about chapter 9. Like, bro, do they not even realize? Do they not even realize that it's the reason for the treaty was because of the Muslims? I guess she conveniently forgot about the other verse too, where what does it say? The one of the verses abrogated the treaty and everybody was just free reign. Anybody got that verse? Is it 9? Is it chapter 9, verse 8? Here we go. I guess she just conveniently forgot about this, right? But once the sacred months have passed, unalive the polytheists who violated their treaty wherever you find them, capture them, besiege them, and lie in wait for them on every way. But if they repent, perform prayers, and pay alms tax, then set them free. Indeed, Allah is the most forgiving. But hold on. What's the reason for the treaty in the first place? Who started this treaty? As for the polytheists who have honored every term of their treaty with you and have not supported any enemy against you, honor your treaty with them until the end of its term. Until the end of its term. But let's go ahead and keep it clean and clear. Who idea was it to make a treaty in a term? Who brought this about? This wasn't them making a treaty that they just was, oh yeah, trying to be nice to people with. This is the Muslims literally trying to victimize themselves and give themselves an excuse for why they can end up doing this. But once the sacred months have passed, unalive the polytheists, wherever you find them, capture them, besiege them, and lie in wait. So we not about to play games with these people, bro. Cherry picking verses, lying on her own book, lying on their whole book. Somebody said read the tafsir where it says that it was meant for the whole world. Is it easy to find? Is it Ibn Kathir? And then look, there's another one. Watch this. You go in this whole chapter is just insane, bro. This whole chapter is insane, bro. How can such polytheists have a treaty with Allah and his messenger except those you have made a treaty with at the sacred mosque? So as long as they are true to you, be true to them. Indeed, Allah is the most merciful. So after the sacred months, right, then it's like go and attack them. Why? Because they're polytheists. Who cares? They're polytheists. So what? Nobody cares. But then notice this. You attack them unless what? Watch this. If any from the polytheists ask for your protection, grant it to them so they may hear the word of Allah. then escort them to a place of safety, for they are people with no knowledge. So wait a minute. So they asked for your, so y'all are supposedly in some sort of war. And I remember asking a Muslim this, who started the treaty in the first place? And they said the Muslims started the treaty. Okay, so if the Muslims started the treaty, if the Muslims had some sort of deal with the polytheists, and then ended up having some verses that ended up later on allowing them to attack them unless they became Muslim, it sounds like all of this is about Muslims wanting control over wherever they're at and wanting them to convert to Islam. And if you don't convert to Islam, then we're just going to come unalive you. This is the reason why you can clearly see here, after the sacred months, the Muslims are on go mode. And then it says, and if anyone from the polytheists asks for your protection, grant it to them so they may hear the word of Allah, then escort them to a place of safety. But then it goes right here, look. How can such polytheists have a treaty with Allah except those you have made a treaty with them? So as long as they are true to you, be true to them. Indeed, Allah loves the mindful. So as long as they're truthfully trying to seek Islam, then don't do anything to them. But wait a minute. In war, if you wave the white flag and you're like, hey, I'm done fighting. I mean, just out of respect, you're supposed to let your people surrender, let them surrender. If the opposing party is waving a white flag, then you won. Here is saying, nope, forget that white flag. If they don't come to Islam, still attack them. Watch this. 9:8. Look at this. Look at verse 9. Look, chapter 9, verse 8, bro. How? Okay, so I ain't gonna lie. I'm sick of all these parentheses, man. What is going on? Let me see. How can there be any covenant with the other polytheists, for they have prevailed against you? They will respect you. They will seek to please you with their tongues, and while their hearts are averse to you, and most of them are wicked. Now watch this. Here we go. They choose a fleeting gain over Allah's revelation. And then I think here we go. We get 9:10. They do not honor or bonds of kinship and treaties with the believers. It is they who are the transgressors. Here we go. But if they repent, perform prayer, pay alms, then they are your brothers in faith. This is how we make revelations clear for them. So it's not about war. It's not about a battle between them. It's about whether they're coming to Islam, bro. It's about whether they're joining Islam, bro. Now watch this. Then you go to the next verse. I think this is it. There we go. Boom. But if they break their oaths after making a pledge and attack your faith, and attack your faith, then fight the champions of disbelief who never honor their oath, so perhaps they will desist. Come on, bro. And the Muslims always want to talk about, somebody doing something to them. This is about becoming a Muslim and dealing with people who aren't Muslim. And let's not go to the letters that I show you guys all the time, where Muhammad sent out letters calling people to join Islam. And if they didn't join Islam, he threatened to come in and take over their land. So let me guess, when they send a letter back to Muhammad and tell him, no, don't threaten us, or else we are willing to fight back. Now the Muslims take that as a threat. And now they think that they now have the right to fight you because now they're defending themselves. This is the games that the Muslims play. This is the games that the Muslims play. Hey guys, I'm going to infiltrate your land, but if you don't want me to infiltrate your land, I'm literally going to give you some rules, and let's go ahead and give you some rules to follow. If you follow these rules, we won't infiltrate your land. But if you break these rules, we will infiltrate your land. And then the Muslims will read that as, you see, they broke the rules, so therefore Muslims were defending themselves. This is dumb. This is dumb. Anybody who reads chapter 9 could see something is off here, bro. Something is off. This is not no chapter of victimization. The Muslims are not the victims in this chapter here, bro. 929. And then we got 929. Everybody knows the famous 929. Here we go. Fight those who disbelieve in Allah in the last day, nor comply with that, with what Allah and his messenger have forbidden, nor embrace the religion of truth from among those who give in scripture until they pay tax, willingly submit, and feel and fully humbled. And this isn't time specific. This is Sharia. This is straight up Sharia. You go to any of them countries, go to Medina, man, you're not walking around preaching Islam in Medina, bro. I mean, excuse me, you're not walking around preaching Christianity in Medina, bro. It's not happening. It's not happening, bro.
Here, no, let me finish. It is dishonest to stand here and selectively quote and misrepresent and misquote. Let me get to the end of my point and I'll get to you. Let me get to the end of my quote and then I'll get to you. Let me get to the end of my point and I'll get to you.
Point of information has been declined, Mr. Jones-Lyons.
It is not and has never been read by the scholarly tradition as a standing order for all Muslims in all centuries against everyone who does not share their faith. It has never been the case. And anyone who says that they follow Islam and have committed those crimes in that name, in that verse, is a liar and not a follower of our religion. I'm sorry.
I think we're heading to the weekly. We had an woman versus one of them with that verse. Justified when he made again, don't need to argue with us. You need to argue with
I get your point. I have just given you the exact quotation from the religious scripture upon which that person claimed to have followed. I have shown you that that is not what the verse says. Let me finish, Jail. I've shown you that that is not what the verse said. I have shown you that that is not what the teachings ascribe to us and tell us to follow. Let me finish. If somebody wants to pick out any verse from the Bible, from the Old Testament, from the Torah, any selective verse, a verse where Moses is discussed killing innocent civilians or Solomon taking up tens of dozens of wives. And then I tell you that that must justify anyone who then claims that that text is referenced to or is presented to be a defense of their actions. You would tell me that is unjustified. You would tell me that is not the correct reading of the scripture.
Can I?
I've accepted the point of information.
Gentlemen, can I ask you both to take your seats, please? Mr. Andalusi. Thank you.
I've accepted the point of information.
Well, can I encourage you to make a little progress, since we seem to have points on both sides, and then perhaps return to the point?
Yeah. Let me finish, please.
No, a point of order having been raised, Mr. Jones-Lyons.
I'd like to
You did raise it.
I asked that people be forbidden, as the Reforms House forbid, from doing individual photography and film.
You will not have heard that
Madam President, one moment. I will remind those in the chamber that with the exception of those with prior arrangements with the Society and the Society's own videographers and photographers, there is to be no recording in the chamber. There will be one warning given, and on the second warning, people will be removed. The only exceptions are the Society's videographers and those that have already arranged recording. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. This motion is not about non-believers, people who say they believe in Islam but don't actually follow its teachings. It is about Islam. And I would urge you all to follow through with that motion, with that wording, and actually scrutinize the religious teachings for what they actually are and not for what you want them to be to fit your narrative. Let me get to my point. Thank you. You will not have even heard that the verses that you are quoting come from a chapter in the Quran called repentance. Not conquest, not war, repentance. That it is the name the book itself gives to the chapter the proposition will tell you is a manual for killing you. Another claim we have heard tonight from Tommy Robinson is this: whoever changes his religion, kill him, from Bukhari. That sounds absolute, but it is not. The Hanafi school, followed by most British Muslims, in fact, most Muslims across the world, has long held that this only applies to those who leave Islam and wage war against communities. Wage war. It is not just, it is not honest, it is not just, and it is not honest to cherry pick quotes and verses. I will get to you. Let me get some progress, please.
What is she doing, man? This girl is nuts, man. This girl is a liar, literally. And then on top of that too, like, listen, what do you mean wage war? What do you mean by wage war? Because your Quran talks about waging war against Allah and his messenger. Muhammad is passed away, and your God is somewhere unreachable. So how do you wage war? Okay, you apostate, and then you openly go speak about your apostasy from Islam and go try to get other people to leave Islam. You're cooked. You see, so I don't know what she's talking about, bro. Maybe she forgot that that's actually what her religion teaches, but I don't know.
This motion is not about non-believers, people who say they believe in Islam but don't actually follow its teachings. It is about Islam. And I would urge you all to follow through with that motion, with that wording, and actually scrutinize the religious teachings for what they actually are and not for what you want them to be to fit your narrative. Let me get to my point. Thank you. You will not have even heard that the verses that you are quoting come from a chapter in the Quran called repentance, not conquest, not war, repentance. That it is the name the book itself gives to the chapter the proposition will tell you is a manual for killing you. Another claim we have heard tonight from Tommy Robinson is that
it literally, if in the chapter it talks about unaliving disbelievers, they're not wrong.
Whoever changes his religion, kill him, from Bukhari. That sounds absolute, but it is not. The Hanafi school, followed by most British Muslims, in fact, most Muslims across the world, has long held that this only applies to those who leave Islam and wage war against communities. Wage war. It is not just, it is not honest, it is not just, and it is not honest to cherry pick quotes and verses. I will get to you. Let me get some progress, please. Let me get to make some progress, please.
Notice she didn't clarify like what she meant by wage war, and she also just cooked herself by saying, yeah, if you leave their religion and wage war, then yeah, that's what it says, unalive them. So when she starts becoming a little bit more clear, maybe she would actually understand that she just cooked herself.
And then when it comes to the verse supposedly enabling violence against women, actually, I'll leave that for, you haven't mentioned it, so I won't bring it up. But if somebody were to mention the verse on that supposedly enables women violence against women, all that verse is hung on is one word in Arabic, which commentators like yourselves have latched on to mean beat them.
That's literally what it says, bro. Like, what are we doing, bro? It's everybody else's fault that we read the Quran for what it freaking says, bro. Like, my goodness, bro. Can nobody read yeah, we definitely should be suspicious, bro, of Islam. Because if nobody can read the Quran without a Muslim saying it doesn't say that, well, then there's nothing else to talk about, bro. Like, there's nothing else to talk about. What are we supposed to do when we read a verse? Where is it at? Here. It literally says it, and scourge them. Like, she talking about you just want to read the verse and just read one Arabic word and say it says beat them. Yeah, that's yes. Because that's what it says. You guys add all the extra stuff. They want to say we take it out of context when the Muslims add extra stuff. Now, let's see what extra she adds to this verse, because 434 is spot on and sound. Muslims been lying about 434 for years.
That word has 20 different meanings in Arabic. Major scholars do not interpret that word to mean the worst and harshest possible interpretation. The Prophet himself, whom you say we believe is rightful, and we must follow in his example, said himself that he disliked men who hit their wives. So just preempting any arguments that were put in that direction.
Okay. Wow. So, whew. Don't we have hadith where Muhammad struck Aisha? They're probably gonna say that's weak, right? Just, the pure Muslim code, right? Anything we bring to prove them wrong it's either weak, it never happened, or that's not a Muslim, right? And everything good we supposed to just accept, right? Now, didn't he say this? Was this a weak let me see. Was this graded weak? Oh, look at this. And I think they be changing their stuff up because I don't think this was okay. Here we go. Yeah. We've seen Sunnah.com edits happen. The prophet said, "No man shall be asked for the reason of beating his wife." Uh-oh. What did she just say? Hold up. What did she just say?
Let me please finish. I'm just preempting, and we must follow in his example. Said himself that he disliked men who hit their wives. So just
He disliked men who hit their wives. Okay, so no prophet shall be asked for a reason to beat his wife. Now watch this, guys. Watch this. Y'all remember this one? Y'all remember the hadith where, there we go. Y'all remember this one? He disliked men who beat their wives, right? That's what she's saying, right? Just sitting up here lying for this dude, man. She's either ignorant or just a liar. And I like leaning on the side of ignorance, but if I were to present her this stuff and she would just deny it all, then I would just say that she is slow and willingly lying and trying to make Muhammad be the good guy she thinks he really is. But most of these women are duped and are ignorant. And so look at this. Y'all remember this? Aisha came to Muhammad about a girl who was getting beat by her husband, so much to the point where she had green spots on her skin. Look, it says caused by beating. Oh, I gotta click on it. Caused by beating. Here, Muhammad is being involved in a dispute. And wait a minute, he's supposed to not like men who beat their wives, right? Well, if you read the hadith, Muhammad actually doesn't say anything to this guy. As a matter of fact, Muhammad sides with the guy. Muhammad says, Allah's messenger said, if that is your intention, then know what it is lawful, then know that it is unlawful for you to remarry Rafa unless Abdul Rahman has intercourse with you. So she literally just said, right? Like the whole issues and all that stuff is being brought to his attention. She's being beat, and Muhammad has the nerve, right, to say that then you know that it is unlawful for you to remarry Rafa unless Abdul Rahman has had intercourse with you. So the girl is obviously having issues, got beat, and Muhammad is giving her advice and saying that you can't remarry this person unless you have intercourse with someone else. Never actually addresses the fact that the dude is beating on her. Then the prophet saw two boys with Abdul Rahman. Are these your sons? On that, Abdul said, yeah. You claim what you claim, but by Allah, these boys resemble him as a crow. So he literally sides with the man. Come on, bro. Rafa divorced his wife, where Abdul Rahman married her. Aisha said that the lady came wearing a green veil and complained to Aisha about her husband, showing her a spot on her skin was caused by beating. So this gets worse. This gets worse, bro. If you read the hadith, she's coming to Muhammad with an issue, and Muhammad says you can't remarry Rifa, right? Unless you have intercourse with this guy that was beating you. It literally says it right here, bro. If that is your intention, then know that it is unlawful for you to remarry Rifa unless Abdul Rahman has had intercourse with you. So not only is she wrong about Muhammad not liking men who beat their wives, This dude literally told a woman that she can't remarry another man unless she has intercourse with a man that literally beat her and she got green spots on her hand. She got green spots on her from this man beating her, and he sided with the man. What are we doing here? These people don't do nothing but lie about their religion, bro, and expect us to not be suspicious of Islam. This is why we should be suspicious of Islam right now, because this girl up here lying. This girl up here lying. And who is this? Zane? What this dude, Zane? Zane? What you up here? You mad or something? Here, you want the link? You want a link, bro? Here, bro. You got something to say? Right there, bro. Join the link, bro. Click the link. If what I'm reading in your own sources is a lie, then just hit the link and come up, bro. And that's for Zane. If Zane is in the building, Zane, go ahead, hit the link, bro. It's right there. Like, y'all always be crying about us reading y'all sources. Like, I've never met a religion that gets mad that people read their own sources. Only Muslims get mad. Only Muslims are ones that come into a Christian live and see a Christian reading what the Sunnah is saying, reading a hadith, and they get mad at us. It's like they can't stand to hear what Muhammad did. I can't help you, bro, in that field. I can't help you, bro. I'm sorry. If you don't like, what your hadith say, then leave Islam, bro.
Preempting any arguments that were put in that direction. Let me please finish. Let me please finish, Jael. The same pattern shows up with the hadith you mentioned about Aisha and the marriage. The claim that she was 6 at marriage and 9 at consummation. Except what they don't tell you is that the source who provided that recollection is not seen as concretely reliable, that the author of one of the earliest and most revered collections of hadith in Islamic law, Imam Malik, did not accept this narrator's reports, and that various reconstructions, including from the Yaqeen Institute, put her age as far, far older. English common law, however, set the age of consent at 12 until 1875. Canon law permitted marriage from puberty. The marriage practices Mr. Robinson is condemned the whole of pre-modern civilization, including Christian Europe, if we were to take his arguments at their highest tonight.
Point of information.
Let me get to my speech. I'm not being able to get my...
That was just so dumb. So she basically said, hey guys, my hadith doesn't say that because other people said that it was weak. Second of all, this is one of your highly revered, most authentic hadith that Muslims talk about and defend to this day. But obviously somebody like this, some Western, some Westernized Muslim who doesn't understand her own religion is literally just going to lie about her religion the whole time in order to defend Islam. She doesn't even realize that she has to lie about her religion. She has to say things are not true. She has to say Muslims are not Muslims in order to defend her religion. All they do is lie. She ain't saying nothing but a bunch of lies. Man, this thing is great as Sahih. This thing is Sahih to the roof, man. This thing is Sahih to the moon. And the funny part about it is the girl herself, who was 6, who was in the relationship with Muhammad, said she was 6. Muslims literally hate their religion so much to the point where they will deny even what Aisha said about herself. This isn't just some other person narrating it. They're saying Aisha herself said this. Then she said Imam Malik. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to see that source. I don't know what she talking about. She talking about Imam Malik. Imam Malik disagreed with the age of 9.
Haven't taken one point from me. Are you afraid? There are still Muslim countries in this world which say that their legal system is based on Sharia, which allow the marriage of children because of their belief in those verses. Are you saying they're not Muslims too?
Again, and I do not understand why it is so difficult for proposition to wrap their heads around this. People can take any text and they can misinterpret it and they can misapply it and they can believe that what they're doing is Islamic. Latent, sit down. They can believe that what they are doing is Islamic and in accordance with Islamic principles. I am asking you to scrutinize Islam and its teachings. Let me get to its point. The people who misquote, misrepresent, and take Islam at its worst and then try and purport that they are Muslims and they are following the teachings of Islam are people you should be suspicious of, I have no doubt. But that is not suspicious of Islam.
We're talking back to our nations.
That would be suspicious of Islam. It just because you don't think that they're Muslims doesn't mean that they're not Muslims. And she got the nerve to tell somebody sit down. Man, she couldn't stay sat down. You see how hypocritical these people are? When she get up here and she want to speak, she want to get all her points off. She not taking no critiques, no questions. She ignoring everybody and telling everybody to hold up and this, and that. But when Tommy was speaking, she couldn't sit down. She couldn't keep herself seated. And then she even complained that was part of the rules to take questions from people. But here she go. Oh, I just want to get through my speech. Oh, sit down, Leighton, sit down. You see what I'm saying? Very hypocritical. And then she didn't even answer the dude question. So you mean to tell me basically everybody in those Muslim-run countries that are ran by Sharia, those who agree with the Sharia law and they implement it, those are not Muslims according to her. So basically, Islam can't possibly be the fastest growing religion to her because according to her, it's only like a couple 100,000 Muslims for real. If what do you mean you're blocked? Zayn, you're not blocked. Are you trying to get in here? Or did he say he's blocked from chatting? Did any of the mods mute him? Zayn, click the StreamYard link. If you got something to say so bad, bro, just come up. Come up real quick. I got a little bit of time left.
Can I finish, please? We are also told Muslims are meant to follow the Prophet's example. Fair enough. But then key parts of that example quietly disappear in the arguments presented by Tommy and Lawrence and the rest of the bench. The Constitution of Medina, drafted and delivered by the Prophet, set up a community of Muslims, Jews, and pagans living together with mutual obligations and religious freedoms. Quote, the Jews are a community along with the believers, to the Jews their religion, to Muslims theirs. It is right there. It is right there. Another treaty was with the Christians.
Okay, so let's say if Jews were living in Medina right now, would the Jews be able to profess their religion? Would the Jews be able to have public religious meetings, publish religious outings? And would the Jews be able to actively go out and convert people or try to convert people? Even though I know this isn't what Jews do, but I'm just saying, like, this is they if they wanted to, they wouldn't be allowed to do it. Now, this is what Christians do. We go out and evangelize to the moon. You know what I'm saying? And so let's just do with Christians. If Christians was there, will we be able to do that in Medina? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, it's illegal for us to even be anywhere near that the Kaaba. So like, what I mean, as a matter of fact, I think it's illegal for us to even be in the city. Let me see. Is it? I don't even think we could go to Mecca as Christians. I think it's illegal for us to be a Christian in Mecca, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. The Kaaba is in Mecca. Yeah. I'm just freely speaking. I'm not saying anywhere is in a specific location. I'm not saying that. Yes, it is illegal for Christians and all other non-Muslims to enter the holy city of Mecca. See? So we can't even go to Mecca, bro. We can't even go to Mecca, bro. The Saudi government enforces this restriction with checkpoints on highways leading into the city. Non-Muslims who try to enter can face fines and deportation. You see what I'm saying? So I wonder if she's gonna say that people in Mecca are not, are not Muslim either. For banning us from even going into Mecca. Yeah, I'm just speaking freely, guys. Don't overquote me. Don't overquote me. Don't try to listen to what I'm saying too heavy. But y'all get the picture. Y'all get the picture. But we not able to walk around in Medina freely preaching the gospel of Christ. We gonna get in trouble, and we can't even go into Mecca. So let's not even play games.
Christians of Yemen, protecting their churches and clergy, not mentioned anywhere. The Prophet's final sermon 2 months before he died went as such: there is no superiority of an Arab over a non-Arab, or a non-Arab over an Arab, or a white over a black, or a black over a white, except in piety. Not mentioned anywhere in any of the arguments that you are going to present, because it does not fit your narrative. I'm gonna run out of time, please bear with me. From the Quran's own lines in that chapter that I quoted to you, which is called, "O disbelievers, for you your religion, and for me mine." Somehow that does not make the cut. After a while, the pattern becomes obvious. The case works best when certain texts stay off the page. You can do the exact same thing with other scriptures. Deuteronomy 20, when you take a city, save alive nothing that breathe. Numbers 31, kill all the boys and kill every woman who has slept with a man, but save for yourselves every girl who has not. Let me finish. You can build a very dark picture that way, but that is not how Jews and Christians read their scriptures. I extend that generosity to my Christian brothers and my Jewish brothers and Jewish neighbors. I'm simply asking that it be extended tonight to mine. Can I please get through my speech? I will get back to you. So let's actually see, because you've said, how do people take that religion and that scripture and how do they apply it in their day-to-day lives? I'm not going to deny that there are people who try to understand that, fail, and try to use that as a cover-up for atrocious and abhorrent acts.
Y'all see that? Y'all see this, right? Y'all see how she trying to play games? Muslims are the best of peoples ever raised up for mankind. Means the best of peoples for the people, as you bring them with chains on their necks till they embrace Islam. Like, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing, bro? I don't care if this man said there is no difference between a white, black, and blah, blah, blah. I don't care, bro. This is why the Muslims act and think the way that they think. So we should be suspicious of Islam. This Sahih Bukhari, what you gonna say? This ain't true either? And the difference, right? The difference with her and how you see how she denied all of the bad stuff. She said none of them people are Muslims. None of these people are telling the truth. All of these people are not following the right religion. All of these people are taking it out of context. The verse never says that. The hadith is weak. It doesn't, it's you're quoting stuff that's not even there. Notice how she's denying everything bad about her religion. But we're not going to go to the Old Testament. You see how she just tried to quote the Old Testament, right? She's firing off Old Testament stuff right now. What? Look at her.
Those are not Muslims, Leighton, for God's sake. I'm not said, how do people take that religion and that scripture and how do they apply it in their day-to-day lives? I'm not going to deny that there are people who try speech. I will get back to you. So let's actually see, because you've said, how do people take that religion and that scripture and how do they apply it in their day-to-day lives? I'm not that way, but that is not how Jews and Christians read their scriptures. You can kill all the boys and kill text, stay off the page. You can do the exact same thing with other scriptures. Deuteronomy 20, when you take a city, save alive nothing that breathe. Numbers 31, kill all the boys and kill every woman who has slept with a man, but save for yourselves every girl who has not. Let me finish. You can build a very dark picture that way, but that is not how Jews and Christians read their scriptures. I extend that.
That's how I read it. That's how I read it. What you mean? Now I know it's some people that might try to come up and give like a more like softer Old Testament a response to the verse. I read the verse exactly how the verse is read. I mean, these are like, the command is the command. There's context of why those commands were given, if you want the answer for that, about a specific people group that had to be wiped out. If you want context about the Bible, I've read the Old Testament, I've read the Torah about 5 times. I get the context about those passages. Watch the difference, though. I am not about to read those Old Testament passages and say that those people aren't Muslims that did that, right? Or I'm not going to say those people aren't Hebrews that did that, right? I'm not going to say those people aren't followers of Yahweh. I'm not going to say the people that are out there teaching what happened in the Old Testament are followers are not followers or whatnot, right? And I'm not going to come here and deny that the passages don't say that, or it's not authentic, or it's a weak narration, or it's this and that. Those passages are in the Bible, and those things happened. Obviously, when reading the text, we can see it says that. I'm not going to read the text and say it doesn't say that. We're going to tell you why it says that. Muslims are going to tell you it doesn't say that. Notice the difference, guys. There's a difference between saying it doesn't say that and why it says that. You see what I'm saying? I never sugarcoat the stuff that happened in the Old Testament. I've already had conversations with Muslims, and I told them, you're not finna budge and get nowhere with me with the Old Testament. I'm not finna sugarcoat nothing. The Old Testament got real raw stuff in it, and I ain't running from it. It got real raw stuff in the Old Testament. If y'all read the Old Testament, just in the first 5 books alone, it was real stuff happening. Real stuff had people getting swallowed up by the earth. The dude touched the y'all remember that dude? He touched the Ark of the Covenant, and God struck him down right there. You know what I'm saying? And let's not go into Levi and Benjamin's dispute in the Old Testament. Let's not go there. But you will never hear me say this stuff didn't happen, or it doesn't say that. I'm going to tell you why I say that, and if you don't like it, then that's on you. The problem is that they don't understand the difference between the old covenant and the new covenant, and laws and guidances for the children of Israel, and how God was very much hands-on in the Old Testament, as well as the new as well, because he came down and dwelled with us. But they don't understand the difference between the old law and the new law under Christ. That's why they don't get it, because their religion does not have that. Their religion doesn't have that. Oh yeah, the story of Samson. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if y'all really want to get into it, we can go into the Old Testament. The Old Testament is a real raw book. It's not for play. But the Bible is set up like that so we can understand why we need Christ. There is a heavy set of raw material that you read in the Old Testament. And then you get the coming of Christ, and it's just this big feeling of relief, because somebody is here to save us from this stuff. That's what the Bible is about. That's why you get that. But for a Muslim who doesn't understand that, and for a Quran that comes and tries to copy everything and just pick and pulls from everything, doesn't know what time frame that it's in, doesn't know how to separate the two, doesn't have anything that has to do with the difference between the Old Testament or specific time frame and what we got going on now. Muslims don't have no knowledge of that and what that means, because their book isn't about that. Their book is literally just a set of random sayings all over the place, and they in the Sunnah and Hadith and Tafsir trying to clean it up. That's all Islam is. And that's why they don't know how to understand what they're supposed to even be doing right now. But Christians do. Christians live and strive to be Christ-like. We understand that we are under a new law. We understand that what we read in the Old Testament was for the Old Testament times. Our book is literally clear enough to get us to understand that we are not living in that time period. Their book is not. And that's why women like this struggle with defending Islam in the first place.
Generosity to my Muslim, to my Christian brothers and my Jewish brothers and Jewish neighbors. I'm simply asking that it be extended tonight to mine. Can I please get through my speech? I will get back to you. So let's actually see, because you've said, how do people take that religion and that scripture and how do they apply it in their day-to-day lives? I'm not going to deny that there are people who try to understand that, fail, and try to use that as a cover-up for atrocious and abhorrent actions. Those are not Muslims, listen, for God's sake. So let's see how those religious teachings translate into actual Muslim attitudes. Opium.
She got some nerve getting mad at somebody getting up over and over and over again.
Last year, 85% of British Muslims back democracy as the best system of government. The general public, 71%. 94% back equal treatment under the law for all faiths and none. The general public, 80%. 7 in 10 say they feel loyal to the United Kingdom. The general public, 1 in 2. 8 in 10 interact with non-Muslims at least weekly. 9 in 10 stay standing against bigotry, including anti-Semitism, matters to them. 4 in 10 have served themselves or through family in public service. On every single one of those measures, British Muslims are more committed to British values than the British average.
And that don't mean
these
nothing.
are not numbers from a community at war with this,
you ain't saying
country.
nothing.
These are numbers from a community holding the line on the values this country claims to believe in. Well, the proposition tells you we are a threat to them. And exactly the same pattern shows up when we turn from opinion polls to crime statistics. The story you are being sold about Muslim crime looks very different once you see the whole pictures, including, for example, grooming gangs. And please do bear with me, I've been interrupted for quite a bit.
I would love for her to go to a Muslim country, full blown, ran by Sharia law, and try to do this. I just would love to see her try to do this and then come back and tell us what her religion is about. Matter of fact, let me show y'all what I can't play it, the documentary, but I can show y'all. I would love for her to be up over here with these dudes, man. Go up over here with them and then come back and let us know how you feel about Islam now. Let's go here, unless you want to say all these people not Muslims either. I mean, if we just gonna do that, no, there are no, you get to tell us who's a Muslim and who's not. I guess that's how she feel, right? I guess that's how she feel. Let me tell her. Let me show y'all where she need to be. She need to be here. Let's go ahead and send her over here. Let's go ahead and send her over here. Y'all remember I played a little bit of this? Let's go ahead and send her over here, man. She need to be up over here with these people right here, bro. Let's go ahead and send her over here for a little bit with these dudes right here. You feel what I'm saying? Who run this? That's the judge right there. Y'all see the judge? He the Sharia law judge right here. He the Sharia law judge. Let's go see how she hold up here. Look, and y'all remember this? Y'all remember when I played this, right? On TikTok? Look at what he said. Watch this. Hold up. He the judge. This the judge, man. He the judge. Matter of fact, I'll fund it. I'll fund it. Let's get her down there and let's see how well she do. Let me see. He decide on domestic abuse cases too. He decide on DVs. He gets to decide whether a DV Look, he took an oath saying that he didn't beat her. And then he just ruled on it as if, okay, fine. Yeah. Okay. You didn't. Okay. You took an oath saying you didn't beat her. All right, cool. Well, then that means you didn't beat her then. Look, then that was the end of the case. What? So the man come in there, right? And he just take an oath. By Allah, I did not beat her. And then he just closed the case. I would love to see her come over here and have a conversation with these brothers and try to do what she doing over here. Look at what he think too. Look at this. Watch this. Look at this. Look, she went and talked to another head leader, right? He wouldn't even look at her. He would look. He ain't even looking at her. And we got Zane the bot in here. He talking about I'm taking stuff out of context. Ain't nothing to take out of context, my boy. It's on video. I don't need context. Y'all want to go watch the video? It's right here. Life in Taliban's Afghanistan. Watch it. Watch it, guys. These are the people she's saying are not Muslims. Just watch it. I would love for her to come here and try to fix it. Go here and fix it. Since you love Islam so much, go here and fix it. Life in Taliban's Afghanistan. Make sure y'all watch this documentary tonight. I'm telling you, it's going crazy. Look at this though. They had trouble getting the reporter to speak to her. She's wearing this out of respect. She don't dress like this. This is the reporter for Vice. She's walking around trying to Zane say man, get up out of here, bro. And then look at this. They had problems getting to this dude, right? This dude literally won't look at her. This guy wouldn't look at her. I think they had trouble getting him to come out as well too. And then when he finally came out, he was like, "It's cool, but just like look, he just ain't gonna look at her." Like, bro, he don't even respect her enough to look at her in her face, even though she's still covered up. He don't even want to look at her, bro. Come on, bro. Now let me show y'all what this dude said real quick. And then we're gonna get right back to this. Because he quoted the Quran, bro. Hear it on purpose. Vice has some sort of copyright thing. I can't play it. Okay, here we go. So she keeps saying like there's proof. The woman showed proof of abuse, and he just keep denying it. No, there's no abuse, no abuse. There's only accusations. You see that? The women's and men's rights are clear. They are all, look, he can and may beat her, but he's sitting up here saying that there's no abuse. If he beats her too hard, I don't think a woman can be a judge. Women have lesser brains and are not good believers. I wonder where he get that from. Let's go ahead and send her over there where he at. Right? Since she love Islam so much, let's go ahead and send her over there with him. How about that? Since she love Islam so much, let's go ahead and send her over there with them. How about that? You go over here dressed like this and you go try to debate them since you don't believe they're Muslims. How about go save Islam then? Why don't y'all build this big campaign to save Islam since these people making your religion look bad? These the reason them dudes the reason why we don't want Islam over here. So why don't y'all go save it? Because right now, them people is the majority and they making your religion look bad. It ain't my fault.
For the grooming gangs, the abuse happened, the girls were real, the failures were real. I will not minimize any of it. And as a Muslim woman, I am not here to do so. In Rotherham, Rochdale, Telford, the offender public's profiles on the headlines were dominated by British Pakistani Muslim men. That is true. That must be spoken about. But there is another truth that must be named alongside it. Those girls were working class. Working class girls in towns that had already been told their problems did not matter, failed by police officers who did not come, councils who looked away, institutions that decided their suffering was not worth the paperwork. Class contempt is what allowed this to continue for decades, and no girl, no working class girl, no girl of any background should ever have to learn that her pain is an administrative inconvenience. What Mr. Robinson never shows you, and what the rest of the bench will never talk to you about, is that 81% of child-based sexual offenses were most commonly committed by white men. The government's own 2020 review of group-based child sexual exploitation said two things very clearly. First, that group-based child sexual exploitation offenders, let me please land, are most commonly white. I'm getting to that point. And second, that the data are too poor to show that any ethnic group is uniquely predisposed to offending or overrepresented as perpetrators. That answers your point. I hope you heard it. In other words, there is no evidence that so-called grooming gangs involving Muslim men are disproportionate once you step back and look at the whole picture, rather than a handful of high-profile cases.
In groups of men.
I didn't take it. Please go ahead, but please stop time. Go for it.
Groups of men, rape children, groups of men. So there's two different types of people here. There's individuals like which you said was 81% white. The country got 87% white, so they're not overrepresented. The point is Pakistani men make
under a conservative, no, because you made your point, you've made your point, and I've heard it. You made your point, and I've heard it, and I asked. You made
Mr.
your point,
Robinson, can I ask you to take your seat again, please? Thank you.
Okay. A conservative government inquiry into a conservative government inquiry into the proportion of grooming gang-related crimes committed by all groups found.
Mr. Robinson, I must ask you to take your seat. The point has been taken. The president is responding.
Right. Please do check the facts after this. Everyone here in the chamber is more than welcome to do so. I'm asking for 2 more minutes, if you'll allow me that. There are some other facts that our proposition will not give you. The first, that Muslims were among the dead in terrorist attacks supposedly committed under the name of Islam. Muslims were among the doctors who treated the wounded, the paramedics who ran towards the smoke, the first respondents who held the dying. The proposition asks you to condemn a community it will not acknowledge was also grieving. The second, that Muslims are disproportionately represented among those who flag concerns to counter-terror or programs. It is Muslim mothers who call the hotline, Muslim fathers who sit with police officers and say that something is wrong. The community the proposition frames as the threat is in practice one of our most reliable lines of defense.
That's not a good argument. If Muslims are doing it, then Muslims are still the problem. No one is saying all of the Muslims are the issue. It's the ones that are literally doing what the real Islam teaches. And let's just be honest. Sometimes it comes by way of other Muslims getting in the way of that and getting hurt as well too. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden, because another Muslim got hurt, because another Muslim decided to be a real Muslim, that all of a sudden we're supposed to just forget that a Muslim did it. Like, these people, man, wake up.
And then there's what the proposition will not say at all. In 2019, a man walked into 2 mosques in Christchurch during Friday prayers and murdered 51 Muslims, among them a 3-year-old boy. His manifesto named Mr. Robinson directly. It thanked him. If we are tallying the dead tonight, and the proposition has made very clear that we are, then the dead of Christchurch belong on that tally too. He thanked you on the card. I haven't.
Mr. Robinson, please, thank you.
Suspicion of Muslims as a category has also been tried as a policy. Over 83,000 men from 25 mainly Muslim majority countries were forced to register with U.S. authorities under special registration. More than 13,000 were put into deportation proceedings. The number of terrorism convictions produced was 0. In the United Kingdom between 2001 and 2011, fewer than 1% of terrorism-related arrests resulted in a conviction for a terrorism offense. It broke up thousands of families and consumed billions in resources, catching almost nothing. That is what suspicion of an entire community, of an entire category of people gets you. Nothing. Ooh. I'm going to skip over to my ending. So when the proposition tells you that more suspicion makes Britain safer, I would like to ask them to look at the record, not the theory, the record, and look to who they are telling you to trust. And this is important because these are the people who are advocating for these points most, and it's important to know where they come from. In 2018, Mr. Robinson published videos claiming that Jamal Hijazi, a Syrian refugee schoolboy in Huddersfield whose assault on a playground had gone viral, was himself a violent bully. In fact, the video showed him being throttled and waterboarded by other people. Please give me a minute. Mr. Hijazi sued for libel. Mr. Justice Nicklin found Mr. Robinson's allegations were fake and highly defamatory and ordered him to pay £100,000 in damages. He did not go to prison for telling the truth about Muslim grooming gangs. He went to prison for lying about a vulnerable refugee child. Let me finish. Each generation of British Muslims is more educated, more politically engaged, more invested in this country's future. There are serious issues within some Muslim communities, and some of the most courageous people fighting those battles are Muslim women, doing it quietly without a platform, without a hedge fund manager paying their legal fees. So let me end where I began, with my faith and with this country. The Prophet Muhammad hosted the Christians of Najran in his own mosque and invited them to pray there after debating them on a religion that they ultimately did not pick up. They did not convert to Islam. He guaranteed the Jews of Medina the protection of their religion and their descent. The book I believe to be the word of God says in plain Arabic,
guaranteed the protection of the Jews, but then you got in the Sunnah where, we're not even going to get into what the Hadith say about the Jews, bro. Like, bro, this dude is so trash. I mean, this is just so bad, bro. All she knows is what's good. All she knows is what's good.
Arabic, there is no compulsion in religion. For you, your religion, and for me, mine. That is the tradition that built me. That is the tradition that proposition is asking you to declare suspect. Free speech and debate is not something I do despite being a Muslim. It is something I do because of it. Hold on a second. So when I defend your right to read from my holy book in a voice dripping with contempt, when I sit through speeches calling my faith a danger and rise to them with evidence rather than writ, I'm not betraying my religion, I am practicing it. Half the team that built this debate are Muslim women. Do not let anyone sell you a false England, an England that was pure until the day your Muslim neighbor moved in. That England never existed. The real England is messier, it's kinder, it's more mixed. It is England where a Syrian schoolboy in a school playground deserves protection from lies, can walk to class without being treated. Who is on which side of this argument tonight? Look at who is defending free speech and who is suing journalists. Look at who only a week ago was in his abode in Spain telling you that immigrants are the problem. And ask yourself the only question this motion has ever really cared about, not whether Islam is a danger to the West, but whether a handful of rich men get to convince you that your own neighbors are your enemy. Vote against this motion. My faith has survived empires. It will survive this evening. Vote against it to protect what is best in your own tradition, the right of every person in this country to be seen as a human being before they are seen as a category. They are not trying to fix this country. They are trying to own it. Do not let them own your anger or your England. We are not, and we never.
They already own it. What kind of dumb ending was that? They already own the country. It's their country. Bro? How you gonna end your statement with they aren't trying to fix the country, they're trying to own it? It's their country. Like, what are you talking about? I'm an American. If I'm up here defending my country, this is my country, bro. I'm an American. I was born here. This is my country. I'm defending my country, bro. Yeah, bro. We're trying to fix it, and because we already own it. We are Americans. Like, what are you talking about? How in the world could she end her statement with these people who own the country trying to defend their country, and she flipped it and said they're not trying to defend it, they own it? Well, I'm newsflash, they already do. They're just trying to get y'all and keep y'all from owning the country. You see how the gaslighting works? You see how it's, oh no, we not trying to own it, y'all are. You see what I'm saying? We're trying to fix it, y'all are not. You not fixing nothing. And then they want to talk about how, oh, we put this debate on because we want to show y'all that we're about free speech. The whole idea of them being able to even come together and try to put a debate like this on in the first place shows that they literally agree with Western values over Islamic values, because Islamic values wouldn't even allow this. So looks like we got an hour left. I'm gonna watch the hour by myself. It is getting late, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Shout out to everybody that was chilling in the chat, man. Shout out to all the people that can be normal in the chat and not be weirdos. You know, you got the keyboard warriors, you got the people that just get on here, just get to saying anything. But it's all good. You know, we just gonna still remain positive. We're gonna try to be the best person that we can be and not be up here playing games with people in the chat. Right? We dealing with a bigger issue here, which is Islam. So what's the name of this? If you guys want to finish off from here, we're at an hour and here, let me go ahead and show you here where we're at too. We are at an hour and 33 minutes. And the debate is TBH, the West is right to be suspicious of Islam. Full debate. So you guys can go find it right there, finish it off. I really wish I was able to do the whole thing, but I started the live super late because I found the debate super late. So cool. Glad you guys liked it. I don't really know if I'll leave it up, but I'm glad you guys enjoy rocking with me on the live stream. Let me read a couple of super chats really quick. It's called Taikia, meaning for the people. Absolutely. Thank you for that. It's not extreme life when their book actually teaches this. They're actually practicing true Islam. And the problem comes when someone actually becomes a real Muslim. Exactly, Antoine. Exactly. Exactly. The real problem is not really the Muslims. I blame these silly liberals. The main problem in the UK is Christianity is dead over there, and there's nothing to combat them. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're allowing the Muslim this weird ideology. You know, the liberals and the Muslims are using them, and then eventually, like I said, you know, we already know what happens once they get the majority rule. Here comes Sharia law, and girls like this is literally going to be mad that that's what they did. Now she's going to be fighting Sharia law, looking stupid because you want to fight to bring these people in and let them take over and let them basically be a part, and you want to integrate this Muslim stuff within it. Like it shouldn't be a problem. Like just live in the country that you live in. Like don't integrate your religious stuff into the country, especially if that country is not a Muslim country. Like if you go to a Christian country and it's a bunch of Muslims that start moving there, well then y'all just gonna have to deal with it. Don't try to integrate your religious systems in there. But see, the Muslims, they get so comfortable with this freedom of speech, freedom of religion in our Western ideologies that they start getting beside themselves. And they start thinking that mean that now all of a sudden they can start push that Islam stuff and start intermingling that stuff in here with us too. Nah, that's not what that means. Society failed by allowing, to become a thing instead of the true followers. Yeah, exactly. I don't know the whole, Bush did it. I love me a good conspiracy theory on 9/11. I'm not gonna lie. I still watch 9/11 conspiracy series today. But here's the thing. There's a conspiracy theory that a documentary that I watched, very, very convincing, but it doesn't remove the fact that Muslims were the one that flew the plane. Right. And I'm gonna put you guys onto it. I want you guys to watch it. I really want to watch it with y'all, but I don't know if it'll get copywritten. But I'll show you guys in a second. I don't care if you're from Luton, allergic to gluten, support Vladimir Putin, Jesus and 5. Live, anytime you don't see no chairs and you see beards, you know you in trouble. Oh man. Have you guys ever seen this documentary? I'm gonna give y'all another one. I'm gonna give y'all another gem real quick. This is a good one right here. I don't know if y'all ever saw this. This is one of the best documentaries, conspiracy theory rabbit trails on 9/11 you'll ever watch. Right here, guys. 9/11 loose change. Loose change, guys. I don't know if you guys have saw this. Has anybody ever seen Loose Change? I kind of want to watch it on stream one day. See what y'all think. It's pretty crazy. You saw Loose Change, Antoine? Yeah, this is good, man. This is good. It doesn't fully remove, like, it's not a bad conspiracy theory documentary. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's not a bad one. It's not like one of those ones where it's like, all right, this is a stretch. Like, there's actually some real stuff in here. You know what I mean? So, I mean, look, you guys, so this is the 2-hour version. Then they got an hour version. I would prefer you watch the 2-hour version because it's just better. It has more stuff than the hour version, obviously, but you get everything here. Yeah, it's really good. Really good, really good. So make sure you guys go check this out. If you like 9/11 conspiracy theories. And I'm gonna just be real. I actually think a lot of the stuff in this documentary is actually true. And one thing I like about this documentary is that they don't try to act like Muslims weren't the ones flying the plane, but they try to make a connection to everything too, Osama bin Laden and everything. Like it's really good. It's really good. I'm just saying it's like really, really good, bro. Really well thought out. It goes from the beginning. It goes from the dispute between, him, this dude. You feel me? I don't know if he's a buzzword on YouTube, but it goes through the disputes between him and how they was going back and forth, like the whole beginning, like it tackles the beginning of everything before they even thought about jumping into no plane, and the training courses and it's really good, man. Really good. Yeah, maybe we'll do like a midnight live if one of y'all didn't watch it. Maybe tomorrow we could probably watch it and we all can just kind of figure out what we agree with and what we don't. But if there's some sort of copyright thing, the live would just shut off instantly. So I hope that that's not the case, and we could probably just rock out and watch it together. But yeah, I love this documentary, man. Obviously, I don't agree with everything that happened here in it, but it's a really good watch. It's a really good watch. All right, guys. I think that is it for tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and head out. All right. You guys see me popping on the live tomorrow. We definitely will try to crack this open and get a watch in on this one. But other than that, thank y'all for watching. And I'll see y'all again. Make sure y'all finish that Oxford debate too. Peace. God bless y'all. I'll see you guys on the next live.